So do y'all know the tea about Big T and Project 2025 and how this is going to disproportionately impact black lives? Because we're going to have to run and hide. So Project 2025 is a play-by-play on what a second-term Trump presidency would look like. And I know Trump has been on record saying he doesn't know anything about it. Well, the former liar-in-chief, we got you on camera. We got you on candid camera. Now, back in 2022, we caught you on a plane, a private plane, with the president of the Heritage Foundation, the same foundation that wrote Project 2025. And you did a speech saying they're going to lay out the groundwork and detailed plan for exactly what our movement will do. Was that not you? Yeah, let's talk about it. Somebody who claims to do so much for the black community, the best president for the black community. Well, why are you targeting us, sir? Project 25 calls for the elimination of the Department of Education, the same Department of Education under the Biden administration that has provided student loan debt forgiveness for millions of Americans, that has been able to create intergenerational wealth, particularly for the black community. But it's more than about student loan forgiveness. It's also about you trying to eliminate Head Start programs and also decrease the number of students that are eligible for free school lunch. Somebody who claims to care about HBCUs and quote unquote saved HBCUs, you know, eliminating the Department of Education would also put it to the states to determine how much funding they would get. Meaning there would be no mechanisms or no protection in plan to make sure that those schools are being funded. What makes it more scary is he wants to eliminate every protection that would fight against discrimination when it comes to public housing, when it comes to DEI programs. And we already know that Trump doesn't really care about us so much to where he wouldn't even let us rent in his own apartment building, even before he became the president. And since he has a history, I don't think there's any room for conspiracy. We need to sound the alarm to our communities, and we have to protect democracy while we have it.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Welcome to Brothers in Booze, folks. Greg dropped
Hello. That's for the entrance. We're going to be a little bit more political coming into this electoral system.
Electoral season? Whatever. We know what you meant.
Y'all know what I meant.
Yeah.
And also, Doug, I'm probably stuttering because I drank like half of this damn thing. Just listening to y'all talk before the stream here.
Okay. Well, what did you get? I can't tell which one that is.
This is a Barrel and Flow joint with Hitchhiker and somebody. I need my glasses. Anyway, it's one of those Barrel and Flow joints. Hazy IPA. I don't know if I had this one at the festival actually with Blam. I don't know.
Who's the collab?
Well, Blam. Damn, I can't even read that with my glasses. Holy shit. It's time for a readjustment.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Hitchhiker, though. I went to Hitchhiker on Sunday and grabbed this. I think I might have had it, but I don't know. It's a fantastic hazy IPA. As you can see, it was up here. Now it's down here. So, yeah, Barrel and Flow, y'all. I suspect you have a Barrel and Flow beer or a beer from there.
Yeah, well, I picked one up from a brewery that was actually at Barrel and Flow. And they had this out. This is from Helicoastal. This is Kinfolks, which is a pretty cool one. As you know, my love of
Kinfolk.
Yep. So this is a light ale. Helicoastal is out of Oakland, California. So this is 5.5%. The hops are Mosaic and Hallertauer Mittelfrüh. I hope I'm pronouncing that hop correctly. Some German.
Close enough.
Yeah, some German hop.
Close enough.
So I'm going to use the same glass you're using there, sir. I got my Barrel and Flow glass as well.
Yeah, another glass, and I don't know where I'm going to put this.
I know we were both at the gate, like, man, I don't need another glass. I'm like, ooh, that glass looks cool, so let's get that.
So pretty. Is that the can or the glass or the both? Or
both. Anyway, you can see I didn't even pour that aggressively, and that stuff came out like gangbusters with the foam. So give that a second to settle before I try it. That's way too much foam, even for me.
Oh shit! Shit.
What?
I'm all out of whack. Shit. We have a co-host. Hello. I'm supposed to bring him on with
Okay, all right, and I'm here.
We're out of practice. Welcome, Jerry.
Yeah, it's like what's going on?
Anyway,
Okay.
Jerry, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this guy. Jerry,
Hey.
what do you have in your glass? Anything?
Well, so nothing in the
skate
glass.
over that horrible
Yeah, nothing in the glass
introduction.
just yet. This is not a collab, but this is the Stonewall Inn session IPA from Brooklyn because Pride is 365. So
Can I see that can again? That's beautiful. The can is
sure.
beautiful. Doug, look at that.
Yeah, pretty
Doug,
can.
look at that.
Session
I like
IPA
that.
is something like 4.5%, or yeah, about 5, right at 5%. So
Yeah, y'all. We were hiding Jerry. Big surprise. That's what it was, right, y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Right.
too funny. Too funny. So also a lot of thick head, but we've got the absolutely Daniel, absolutely.
Daniel acts like he's had that before, and of course he probably has, right, Doug?
Well,
And it's just
he's in New York City. Of course he had.
it's a
Yeah, but it
his
doesn't mean
flavor
look, it doesn't mean you have every New York City beer known to man. Come on, y'all. Like, can't assume that.
Have you
I
met
mean,
Daniel?
I was ready for the Brothers of Booze New York trip, so we got to make that happen in like 2025 or something like that. You know, of all the things in 2025, we got to make it happen. We got to do it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Can we see that can one more time, Jerry? We're loving it. Look at this.
Yeah.
Everybody's loving it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Simple yet complex yet. Yeah. I mean, I know JHD. I got it. I'm just saying. Don't assume anything with any of y'all. Yeah. So, Barrel and Flow. It was a thing. Jerry, your first impressions, and then we got some guests for y'all. Yeah. Besides Jerry, of course.
I absolutely loved. This is my, if we don't count the year that it was online only because of COVID, but it's my 4th year going, and was so absolutely, just very thankful for everything that was happening there this year. I wasn't able to come in Friday for like the bottle share and all those things like that. And it's interesting because a lot of people will say, okay, go to the bottle share, which is kind of like the festival before the festival. So yeah, if you can be there for that, for sure, go to the bottle share. But flying in Saturday morning and actually being there for the festival, I was fresh and ready. Like literally, I was, I got the VIP tickets. It's still probably one of the most affordable VIP situations for a beer fest that I'm aware of, and so it's worth your coin to do that. I mean, it's still only like, well, as of 2024, $200 something. I mean, Dave Bracey is now Emmy nominated, so it might bump up a little bit next year. We'll see what happens. But it is an affordable festival, and I just have a great time. And for me, I mean, coming from Texas, right? Going into Pittsburgh, I'm already just thankful for the cooler weather. I mean, when you have mornings, and for those of you who are in different, parts of the U.S., you probably understand this. I didn't. My mornings start at like 85, 90 degrees. It start at. And so we're going to end up at like 100, 101, maybe 105 by the middle of the day. So when I can go to Pittsburgh and actually get into a morning that is like higher 60s and the high is like higher 70s, I mean, I have to explain why there are tears coming from my eyes. I'm going, oh, this is just so nice to not have to do this. It's so wonderful. So that alone is great. But going down there and seeing the festival and seeing the people, I mean, Barrel and Flow has always been about, yes, you have the beer, but it's the people. You have a variety of people from native Pittsburgh, but also from around the world. And it was just really fun to see, you got Smittix there. We're both from Dallas. So we both like as Kumba would say, Graybeards unite, so it definitely does a thing. This is from the bottle share, shout out to Libco. doing their thing, making the beers happen. So yeah, I just really enjoy my time there. And I would recommend anyone, look, whatever's been holding you back, I would say it's always going to be in August, that second week of August.
Second weekend.
Put that on your calendar now. Just put that on your calendar now. Make the time to go. Even if you only can run in Saturday and leave on Sunday, whatever. I left on Monday. I came in Saturday, left Monday. Make some time. In fact, make it a thing. Like, okay, I'm going to the festival, then I'm going to go to the Heinz Museum, or I'm going to go to the August Wilson Center, or I'm going to go to the Andy Warhol Museum. Just make it a whole time. And just make it a full time there in Pittsburgh. I guarantee you'll have some fun.
Yeah. And it's obviously there's baseball there. If you like baseball, the baseball stadium's right downtown.
I was hoping to see a game. The team was traveling at the time I was there. I was hoping to actually get a game in as well if I could.
Yeah.
If it had been the Orioles and Pittsburgh, I've been like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Cheers to that, Jerry.
Absolutely. It's funny because someone was talking about me about, okay, well, I wish I would do more about Pittsburgh. This is someone who actually went to the festival and said, I don't know if I like Pittsburgh. I said, well, what you want to do is you want to go not just because of the festival, right? And I have a personal lean into this story because my father, who got really involved in the Christian church and doing a lot of different things, many times the only time our family, when I was younger, would travel is if it was church related. And one of the things that would have been special is if we had done something that was just family related outside of church scene stuff, right? And so I kind of say the same thing with beer festivals. Okay, you can go to town for the beer festival. Say if you're going to GABF here in October, but do something that's non-beer related, just so you can see kind of what the rest of the city gives and what it all entails too. So I would just recommend that if you're going to visit. Because there's plenty of beer stuff. You can always come back to that, but try to do something else that's non-beer or just kind of throw your schedule off and just plan for that and make it special. Especially if you're bringing family or friends with you. So.
Yep.
So while I'm not against Jerry's advice, I always do opposite of what Jerry does. Actually, I always say those museums are going to be there, so fuck them. I'm going to the brewery. So whatever.
Those museums
Jerry's talking about a balance of culture and beer and all that.
You're right. The museums are going to be there, but the time with your family will not always. So, I mean, when you're there with family or with friends, what is there at that time is that time that it's there and it's gone. So whatever, you can't depend on it's going to happen next year. Oh, I'll just come there next year with them. Well, they might not be with you next year. You don't know where you'll be next year. So, I mean, I'm always looking at the time that you have at hand.
And I'm just making a dumb joke. Anyway. No worries. Anyway. And so I don't make any more dumb jokes, y'all. I'm going to bring on our guests, and then they can make the dumb jokes, and then we can make fun of them. But they're definitely more wittier than I am. So unless and Doug, I figure we'll sprinkle in our thoughts about Batter and Flow throughout the whole stream. And then yeah. So not ignoring you. But without further ado, I would like to bring our guests on because I'm excited to have them. We're bringing back Amani from Melanated Mashers, who had some of the best beer I tasted all weekend. So there's no question on that. What's up, Amani?
Hey, what's going on?
Mr. Home Brewer that could be a pro brewer if he wanted. That's just my take. I'm allowed to have my take. But your beer was excellent during the bottle share. And we had a whole bunch of fun. So what's up, Monty? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on. Humbled by the kind words. So
what's in the glass?
What's up?
Quick.
What's in your glass?
I am drinking my favorite style, or one of my favorite styles, of Belgian Saison from the brewery we actually collaborated with. It's called Autumn March Beer Project. We're in Newark, Delaware. This is their Belgian Saison. Fantastic beer. I think it was a GABF medal winner. Might have been bronze. I think it was bronze, but they're probably gonna kill me if I said otherwise. But if I got it wrong, but it's a wonderful golden saison. All the things you kind of expect out of a Belgian. Some of the banana, the clove, a little bit of spice. But it's a beer that they had and then kind of brought back again. But Autumn March is a brewery nearby us here in Delaware, and just really happy that they opened the doors to that collaboration when we asked them to put together our collaboration beer called On the Playground. So I'll probably crack one open a little bit later, but it's been a day, so probably taking it easy.
All right. Well, when you crack that open, we want to hear about. We'll get into those details about the collab because I'm really fascinated about how that comes together and how that works. But let's bring in our another guest here real quick while he's waiting. It's our friend Ren.
Hey,
going
now.
on?
Yeah.
Hey,
fellas, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. From you have your own meadery, bro. Look at that. Tell us about it real quick, Ren. What's in the glass? Nice to have you back. All those things.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me up here. What's up, Amani? What's up, Jerry? We actually formally met. What was it? Sunday. Like you said, he left on Monday, but we formally met Sunday. Doug, what's going on?
Not much, man.
Yeah, just chilling, man. So as of right now, I'm sipping on one of my old meads. Hold on, let me turn this glass around right here so y'all can see it correctly. This is a grape one I made, aged on rum soaked oak chips at 14.5%. It's about 2.5 years old. It's drinking phenomenal right now. When I first made it, it wasn't tasting so good, but you know, with time, things come out and they pronounce themselves much better. So it's phenomenal. You asked me a question, Greg. I'm sorry.
Your meadery. What's the name? Because you know I butchered it.
Yeah, mulinated meadery. Okay. My great grandmother's name is in the meadery itself, hence the mulinator. Her first name was Eula. There's a backstory behind it. So
yeah,
she was known in Mississippi for brewing some very good moonshine. I found this out a few years ago as I was producing meads. So once I found that out, I realized that there was a reason for me to be doing what I was doing. So I had to incorporate her name into the name of the business, and hence there came mulinated meadery as opposed to melanated meadery. So it gives my brother Amani some room as well to do what he does. You know, melanated matchmaking.
It's all in the same. It's beautiful,
right? And that was one of the funny things that happened with me and Ren at the Barrel Flow Dog. Is that like I was like I for sure that Ren had a collab because I saw Amani's collab. So I saw Melanated Masters and I thought it was Melanated Meadery. So then I was like, yo, Ren, what's up with your collab? Tell me, who was it with? He's like, I didn't do a collab, man. I was like, wait, no. He's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, what? So then I'm like, I'm getting old, Amani. I knew for sure I saw Melanated, but I saw Melanated. So like that whole thing threw me off, but that's excellent.
Ren was like, "No, I'm doing this on my own."
Yeah,
right.
I had to explain that to him a little bit. I like to do things on my own. So if it goes bad, it's my fault. If it goes good, it's my fault, as opposed to being able to take that blame and put it on somebody else. So that's just me. Yeah, that's just me.
Right.
Oh, and cheers, by the way, guys. Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers
to you.
And cheers to Doug for wearing the merch right now. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like I had reached out to Ren about coming on if he could, and then I was like, you know what? I have a shirt. I should be wearing that shit if he's gonna pop on.
Perfect timing, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Perfect timing.
Mm-hmm. The ancestors are involved here. Yes, Daniel. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So Ren, can we get, and then we'll jump to Monty. So this is your second year, I believe, as the meadery, right? You were there last year, this year. What are your impressions about Barrel Flow as someone who does, as a vendor or as, a displayer, trying to get your word out about your things, and your meadery, which is, obviously a professional thing. Amani's got, not yet. We've been trying to get Amani to do some professional things, but so I don't know, Ren, just give us your impressions from that point of view, and just, as an attendee, as a family member, you're, a part of the family, all that.
So number one, I will say me and Amani are neck and neck. I'm not professional yet. I am licensed as far as I legitimately have a business, but I don't have a license to sell alcohol legally, right? My impression, excuse me, I am heading in the direction of getting that license in New York State, which is difficult. And there's a lot of things involved with that. Hence why I was there Thursday and into Friday. So I was picking up on some game and knowledge they dropped in the conferences on Friday. Answering your question about Barrel and Flow. Family reunion, like the simplest way to put it, there's no other way to put it, to see, and this is no disrespect to Doug, to see Black folks in an area, drinking involved, no arguments, no fights, is all love, is all fun. That right there is definitely something that you can put in the books. I was proud to be part of that 2 years in a row. Proud to see some new people, as well as see some people I met last year. The experience overall is great. I haven't had any complaints about it. I love being in it. Like, I absolutely love the vibe. I love drinking with my family, I can say. And it's an experience that for me, it changed my life and let me know that there are us out there doing the right thing, and it doesn't always involve nonsense. I don't want to, curse on here, but yeah, I love
you curse all you want.
So love it, man. Love it. I'll be there next year too. Definitely be there next year. Question is whether or not I'll be by myself or with my three brothers. We might do something together, but I don't know. We're talking about it.
A little exclusive there for Brothers and Boots.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So
Amani, same question.
It's hard to kind of not sound repetitive, right? Everything's kind of been said with what Jerry mentioned very early on. Ren just now is definitely a family reunion. I've been going to Barrel and Flow since it was known as something else. And that was in 2018, 2019. I think it was the first year I had gone, 20. And it's still the same old vibe. Like, it's just always nice to kind of reconnect with people who are like you, people who think about things like you, and then just to see this this space of creativity and innovation. There's all from the collaborations just all the way through to, it's more than a beer festival. There's arts and culture. There's folks who are doing artwork, literally painting murals like while the festival is going on. There's music going on. There's fellowship, and it's really just to sound corny and cliche, it's a vibe. Like, it really is a space where you can feel comfortable, you can feel celebrated, you can feel seen, in a space, especially revolving around beer in particular, to be really just able to be in that room and talk to people about what was their creative process, what was the what is their inspiration, what are their passions, and that's what comes through. And it's just, there's not much more I can say other than I will continue to be going every year. This is my second year as a vendor. It's a different experience when you're a vendor than when you're attending, because there's a lot of other logistic things that you're like, oh, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this. And when you got a lot of pride, even though you don't always say it, you got a lot of pride and you want to put your best stuff forward, you're like, you want to make sure it's all done correctly and done right. Just like Rem was saying, you want to take the blame for something going wrong, but you also want to take the credit when something goes right. And, as you're kind of navigating it, when you're on the vendor side, you're just like, oh, I need this right now because, this is the way it's going to be. And then you're trying to explain it to people and help people get the concept. And you're wondering, like, every sip that comes by, you're sitting there like, I need them to say it was good. I need them to say it was good, But it just for anyone, like beer festivals, this is different than a traditional. Everybody sets up stands and gives out samples of beer. There's a vibe, there's a fellowship that's going on, and like Ren said, it's a lot of knowledge you can soak up while you're out there too. So the experience is a little more hectic as a vendor, for me at least. But I really like what happened this year, how things went down this year. One final piece, just not to keep running off at the mouth about it, but one final piece is what I do like to see is that they're carving out more and more of a space for the home brewer and for home brewing. There's a lot of education that happens there. For those of us who enjoy being home brewers, for those of us who want to encourage more people to get into home brewing and maybe become professional brewers. But, it's just nice to have a space where home brewers can be recognized and felt too, because we don't have the licenses always, and it's a lot more legal steps. We just want to share our beer as well. We're not necessarily always looking for profit. Not always looking for profit, but we want people to be able to see the work that we do and the science and the research and the practice that we put in there as home brewers. So, what's fascinating for me with that particular festival is just that. There's a space there's more and more space being carved out for home brewers to participate.
I agree. I actually noticed that as well. And to add a point, the intentionality there behind the brews that are made, from ciders to obviously I'm the only meadery, but the brews in general, people making beer, it's intentions behind all of that. Number two, the vibe, the intensity, the focus, the things that you don't normally see in a festival. And I've been to a lot of beer art festivals in my life, being an avid craft beer drinker, etc. And there's nothing in the world like this, and I don't think there ever will be. You probably will have some people that try to replicate it, but it's not going to be the same. And it's something that's purely fun. Like Imani said, when you're having people taste your stuff, I've gotten to the point personally where I don't care whether you say it's good or bad. I just want to hear your thoughts. However, most of the time I can read you by your body language on what you're going to say. And that right there is the dopest part for me, just watching you react. Again, whether it's good or bad, 95% of the time is going to be good because it's mead. It's something that's different. However, again, just the overall experience of that festival, it's a one-of-a-kind thing. And I'm going to be there as long as my peoples are there, as long as everything continues to be involved. As long as Day is involved, I'll be there. If that switches up, it won't be the same. So I enjoy it, y'all. Look forward to seeing me there again. And, Doug, you can do your thing now. I apologize. I was long-winded.
Not at all. I just wanted to make a quick point when you were saying no offense to me about talking about the family vibe. That's not an offense to me at all. And I want people to be clear that Barrel and Flow, while it is a black beer festival and a lot of black folks and it's a community, it's not that people are excluded at all. They welcome all sorts of folks. They welcome anybody of any race. They welcome anybody of any gender expression, any sexuality. You come, and everybody's made to feel welcome. It is not something where it's just concentrated on one thing. And like I have said this about this festival more times than I can count, it is unlike any beer festival I've been at because it's a lot more close knit. You can talk to everybody, and it is not a mad dash to get hammered. Like it's about, all right, well, let me try this. Now tell me how you made that, and let me hear what you have to say about it. And there's just the collaboration isn't just with beer. The collaboration is you collaborating with people trying your stuff, or you're trying their stuff, and you get to hear, all right, well, what's your process? Like, that's the stuff that I find fascinating, or hearing the story about how you have your grandmother's name in your meadery. That shit is great to hear. Like, I want to hear more than just like, oh, I threw these hops in it and here you go. Like, okay, well, I can get that anywhere. This is the difference that Barrel and Flow is to me. It's just there's a camaraderie. I never feel like I am out of place ever. Like, everybody's very welcoming. I've made a lot of friends at this festival, and like there was a time where Imani and I was sitting with your wife for like 45 minutes just talking about kid shit. Like, like we were at a beer festival just talking about kids And just like that's the kind of thing it is. It's like you'll just run into people and you'll just start talking to them. And so I just want to make the point that it's not you're not going to feel excluded if you're not black. You're going to be welcome no matter what. So
I agree. And I want to say one last thing, and I'll be quiet for a while. Imani, I apologize. We didn't get a chance to chop it up like we did last year. Like me and you both for vendors, we were mad busy. And number two, Doug, my wife remembered you because she said, "Wait a minute, is that the guy that was with Alicia from Rhythm and Brew?" I was like, "No, but I do remember him wearing a T-shirt." So she thought you were affiliated with him. I was like, "No, he's affiliated with the podcast, et cetera, et cetera." And she's like, "Oh, okay, I liked him a lot." So I just wanted to say that. Thank you for making a good impression on her as well.
Yeah. I definitely want to reiterate that. Like my wife came back, she said, "You were talking to that guy and he was sampling your beer, and then we talked for hours about our kids." And she said you offered some real good advice. So,
I have a story about that. So I think y'all remember that I wore the Black Viking shirt during the event, and I got more questions about Black Viking than I was able to answer. Are you with Black Viking? Where's Black Viking? So y'all know Sean was there from Black Viking, you know, the purveyor, the owner, the founder, the fucking brains behind it, the energy, all that. This motherfucker didn't have a Black Viking shirt on. So he's running around like anonymous almost. And like nobody, I mean, we know who he is because we, you know what I mean? But like normal people who are like looking for Black Viking did not know. And I'm like, so I saw him halfway through. I'm like, motherfucker, we need to switch shirts because I'm getting all these questions about Black Viking. Where the fuck is your Black Viking shit? So we had a moment there. It was pretty funny though. But I love repping y'all. I love when I wear a shirt, the pride it brings me that I know you, or that I at least were able to at least platform y'all a little bit on Doug and I's tiny little stage here on the internet. But it's just, you know, again, it goes back to what Ren and everybody else said. It's just the love of it all. And you know, again, it's almost like I almost feel I'm missing the annual family reunion if I don't make it. So we, you know, I just got to figure out how to make it every year. I don't know. Y'all know I got conflicts, but you know, you got to make some things happen. So,
what's your second beer, Greg? I saw you pour one. What do you got?
Yeah, actually, my second beer. Before I get to that, let's talk to. So I don't know if y'all know the wonderful voice that brings us in here, the lead voice of this podcast. It's been for what 2-3 years now, Doug. As our friend Barry Jenkins. Now Barry is not a brewer. He's not a home brewer. He's not quote influencer. He's just a beer drinker. He's just a friend, a family, friend of the family, I would say. And he just goes to Barrel and Flow, y'all. He just comes up from, you know, where he's from. I think it's DMV area, right, Barry? We'll get to that. And he just comes with his wife every year, and they just have a good old time. So Barry brings a different perspective. Y'all know Barry. He's been on here more than once. So what's up, Barry?
Yo, what's good, fellas?
Hey.
What's good?
How you
What's
doing?
good?
How you doing?
Listen. Let me just say, and I'm glad I put that. This was my 4th Barrel and Flow, and it is truly family. This is like the best time. It gets better and better every time me and my wife go. Greg and Doug, they're like family, and I gotta jump on that bandwagon. My wife was so impressed with Doug too. She was just like, "Are you gonna see Doug? Is Doug gonna be there?"
When you find out Doug is finessing everybody radio.
Everybody.
Right.
I'm looking with the side eye now, like, what's Doug saying?
Hey, I would like to point out I'm very happily married. My wife is an introvert. My wife's an introvert and doesn't like going to festivals because too many people. So.
Mine is also, but she still was impressed with you.
Thank you.
Doug, you better watch it.
I know I'm gonna have problems when I go to church.
Well, I may go a little Kendrick on you and call you a colonizer, but I'm not gonna.
So I think I've seen Barry there this year. If I'm correct, I might have seen him in the crowd somewhere, like maybe at the bottle share or something like that. I believe I've seen his brother.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of it too. You guys were saying like every year we go, we're seeing the same folks. So it's kind of like you're recognizing folks. It was our first year. We were like introverts. We're looking around like, what do we do? Who do we talk to? All right, we know Greg. Then we got introduced to Doug. And then it was like every year it's just like more and more love. And like this last year, we just felt like, man, this is great. It's like one big family reunion. And because we almost didn't make it. And at the last minute, we were like, let's just make it happen. You know, it's like a 4.5-hour ride. We can do this. And we, again, had a ball, had even a better time at Pittsburgh. I mean, we learned more about Pittsburgh. We learned more about Pittsburgh Black history. We learned more about just in general and a couple other places. And it was just a good time. And the guy said it best. I'm not an influencer. I am a beer and bourbon drinker, but we just, my wife and I just love to participate, have a good time. And again, this was the best time. And it just keeps getting better and better. But thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, Barry. It's like you start with a base that first year, and then you just add. I feel like you add. Like, I've never talked to Lou from Brews Banter.
Bruising Banner podcast.
Bruising Banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always like just walk past each other. So this year, I don't know. We just made eye contact and we're like, "Hey, what's up? Yo." And it was just like another added person to like the, you know what I mean, Barry? So the next year, you know, we'll probably have dinner or something together. It's really fun. But Doug, you asked me what I had. I have this one, which wasn't at Barrel and Flow, but this is a collab between Weathered Souls and Rhythm and our friend Sterling. Remember, he
and Hardywood.
Yeah, and Hardywood, and dry hop lager. Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice.
Shout out to T Beer.
Did you have this one, Jerry?
Yes, I got it at the same time you got it. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, did you?
Was that this year?
Where was
I'm not getting the tea.
Yeah, I'm asking the same question at the festival this year.
That was right, Doug. It was literally almost right after you left. He came back with these beers and gave it to us. It was literally.
It wasn't at the
minutes
festival.
after you left.
Yeah, it wasn't at the festival. It was something.
No, it wasn't.
Earlier, it was his Black is Beautiful collab, Volume 2, for MB2A, and I mean, just definitely shout out. Yeah, absolutely shout out to RVA Beermeister. Really great lager with tea.
I didn't taste the tea. Did you taste the tea? Did you taste the tea, Jerry?
Absolutely.
Does it have a lot of tannins in there?
That's the flavor I had when I first got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the tea that we have over in the private chat, but we'll leave that there.
Okay.
we ain't gonna try to go there for that one. But woof, that's some big. Anyway,
hey, we didn't even ask Barry what he was drinking.
What are you drinking?
Right.
Not yet. I'm waiting. I ran in here because I had to bring the family something to eat. And I ran in here just because I was like, let me just jump on. And I was like, let me go grab something. And I got really, really jealous because everyone's like,
what's for dinner?
Hey.
What did they get?
They got some shrimp and fish tacos and everything. So
we went to get the family some dinner, some shrimp, and that's
and I haven't even eaten yet. It's just like, this is how important this is. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and take a few minutes and come say what's good. How's everybody? Because I promised the guys.
That's dad life, though.
Take care of the family first, right?
Yeah.
Especially girl dad. Like I don't know. I'm a boy dad, so fuck them kids. They can. Girl dad's a little different. You know what I mean? Like y'all can do this. Y'all boys. Go.
Yeah.
No.
Y'all
y'all need to make me shit and bring it here. No. Anyway, sorry, Barry. Okay, no, Barry, we're waiting for you.
No, I'm gonna find something. I have something that I know I got from the festival. I don't know if I'm gonna grab a bourbon, but I am going to grab something. But as you said, the girl dad had to take care of the girls, the babies, and make sure everybody's straight. Or
this one.
That's from Oliver Brewing and Libco. So this is Mentor Magic.
Yes,
look at that label, dude.
Phenomenal.
That label is just fucking great. And just like even usually they have the green, but this one they did like a purple because of the wizard motif. So this is a double dry hop, double IPA. So this is a big boy, but Libco had it and they're our friends. So if they have something there, I'm going to get it. And This is look how look how good that looks too. That just looks lovely.
Not
Drew was
only
telling me
are
that was made with the African hops, and also excuse me, African Queen hops and also Citra. So I tasted and I said, "Yo, this is crazy." Citra is my favorite hop, but an African Queen and the Seven Seas beer that they make, I love that. So the combine pretty much the two of that together was phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah, it's super good. It's citrusy and like it's almost drinks like a New England IPA, but it's double, so you get that flavor profile. So this is superb. Good job by Libco and Oliver. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and that seven queen beer, that 7-hop queen beer, Red, for so many hops, that is such a delicate, wonderful, well balanced, like not overly hoppy, overly bitter, just a wonderful, approachable beer. In fact, I think that beer should be served in a champagne glass. It's so elegant and so light and so, you know what I mean? Like, to me, like, that's a bougie ass beer, because not because of the price, because of just the level, like, again, the delicate nature of that beer. I've always been blown away by that. And it hasn't changed, actually. I had it this year. I was like, oh, it's still the same wonderful thing. So yeah, I don't know, Red, you want to expand on that one, but if anybody else wants to jump on Libco, in my opinion, one of the best black brewers, period. .n overall. That's just it.
Yes,
like,
I agree with you.
They're just excellent.
That's one of the people I said I'll probably be doing maybe a collab with. It'll be him, Sizzle out of Craft the Culture, Ohio, and maybe Mac Cohen out of Philly. Yes, so I said we got to work that out. Me and my brothers got to work that out.
And look at us,
getting me excited over
here. Red getting us all hyped.
I figured,
there
he is. Ren, I figured that was coming because I talked to Drew a couple days ago, and I was like, y'all got something going on.
yeah.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah, we be having our little side conversations going on most of the time, and that's the brothers who pretty much kind of really inspired me to come to the festival, because prior to that I would have went just as as a participant, and they was like, nah man, you got to come, bring your meat, like we know you got something, bring it. And I'm glad I did, and this year reminded me of that. But being around, and we had a good time, and last year I left early. This year I stayed to Monday, so I was able to soak everything up, get a chance to relax and unwind on Sunday, see everybody at the brunch, took an epic picture that I hope never gets taken again. I want to throw that out there. That's a one and done thing. Like, I really hope nobody tries to replicate that. You can't do that again. But just love that festival. That's all I'm saying. I love that festival. Love it.
Where's that? I gotta get that picture. Okay. Yeah.
You were in there though.
Yeah. I got it.
You had the hat on.
I think you
had the one piece hat on.
My wife and I just missed it because we were taking a picture up by the bridge, and I saw everyone, and I was like, if I try to run and I fall and bust my face, I'm not going to ever let this down. So I'm gonna stroll down here, and if you look all the way over to the right, you can see me up an uppercut there. So at least pick myself out. Here I am.
Yeah, I'm a little mad I missed it. I had to get on the road, but it was definitely a big thing when I saw it got posted on social media. It's a fantastic picture. It reminds me a lot of the what is that? There's a picture of like jazz musicians at in front of a brownstone in Harlem, and it reminds me a lot of that. And I think that it's a great opportunity. And I agree with you, Ren. It shouldn't be redone.
No.
Let it be that moment, and let it be that space. Yeah,
I agree. Mac pointed that out to me. He said this is the new Harlem Renaissance, but you're talking, black brewers and people involved in the festival. And I was like, that is very spot on. I loved it, man. The energy about it. Like I said, the ancestors were intentional about it. Who knew we were going to do that? And the bridge in the back says everything, at least to me. Roberto Clemente, if you know his story, there's a lot about that. And that's a, Afro-Puerto Rican man. So there's a lot involved. The ancestors were involved in this. Definitely. That was real. I hope they never try to replicate that. I hope nobody tries to copy that. Just leave it as it is. That's one and done. Nope, don't try to copy it next year. Don't do it.
Or at least have a completely different experience. Like you can have a similar picture. It may not be just that, but done in a totally different way, and it'll be that year's own special presentation. Like the 2025 look will be different than the 2024 look.
For me, I would say don't try to use the bridge. Like if you try to use the bridge again and capture that moment, it's going to be corny. That's just me. I've seen a few people doing that afterwards, and I was like, "Come on, man! Like, don't do that. It's done. It's over with."
So one of the things that's not that so the brunch is the last, like, I'm pretty sure it's the last event that's on the official Barrel and Flow ledger for the weekend. One of the things that I love is then right after that, the brewers go out to their own little thing. And so they usually go to Burgers, 11th Hour, and Aslan is the three that they meet. So if y'all stay till Monday, that's another really good perk. If you can stay, some folks have to get back on Monday to work, obviously. So, I mean, but if you have that extra buffer day that some of us get, or we take, or we plan ahead, or we can do it, the Brewers lunch is amazing. Especially during that time. To me, it's just a time to listen. I know Hannah always goes, Max always there, Sizzle's there. I met Sizzle's friend. Sizzle's friend took me over there. So it's just a really good time, y'all. So y'all can slide that into. I usually do that, and then I go hang out with the family for dinner. And then I usually hit a couple breweries, like I did. I hit Hitchhiker and Dancing Gnome, and then went to eat dinner, and then my weekend was done. But it was great. It was great. So if y'all can ever fit that in, but the Brewers brunch, man, y'all. I mean, y'all at least got to do this. To me, Doug and I always talk about it's like the wrap up. It's like the you know what I mean. You try to like make some of those connections that you may have made, solidify them. Maybe go through and be like, all right, Ren, you said you're coming on. Need to see you this week or something. You can have those conversations. For the record, y'all, it was the complete opposite. Ren was like, no, motherfucker, I'm coming on soon, whether it's this week or something.
Yeah.
I told y'all I was going to come on, and I haven't. Shit's been busy. And Doug and I are like, we're cool, man. We're cool.
Doug got me. Doug got me good. He sent me a message directly, and I was like, all right, I got to do this. I got to show up for him. And then when I mentioned who it was to my wife, again, Doug over there trying to finesse my wife.
Hey, that is not at all the case.
No, I'm messing with you, but I had
the most I talked to your wife forever was when I was talking to her while you were discussing your meat while you were at the booth. I was like, hey, you're Red's wife. Hey, good Doug, good to meet you. And then I just moved.
But you made a very lasting impression. She's a good judge of character, being somebody who's not really socially active with most people. She's a good judge of character. So am I. And she said what she said within that brief interaction with you. And I said, okay, good enough, which I already knew. I already knew that. Like, she didn't have to confirm it, but that was a good thing.
Look, I gave Doug the lecture about being aggressive and white at this festival. I did my part.
You did no such thing, motherfucker.
I did my part. I'm just making sure my brothers know that I did what I could to the white. I tried to tell. No, I'm just fucking.
Yeah,
good
crazy.
Times, y'all. Good times.
Did you see the guys at War Cloud Brewing at Dancing Gnome? Because they went there afterwards, after Burgers.
Oh no!
And they move in the unit. It was like 10 of them guys, like the jerseys, everything. Like, look, Jerry, like, yeah,
they roll thick.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
I miss them. Dancing Gnome. That's a nice place, though. Ooh.
I think we're gonna try to get there next year.
Y'all spent some money, and someone's got some money. You know how you walk in a brewery and you're like, somebody's got some money. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, have they like updated the brewery or something? I mean, because I haven't been in Dancing Gnome in a minute, so I'm like, are you talking about there's a really big space or?
Yeah, I don't know. I walked in there. I was like, damn, is this place new? And they're like, no, we've been here 3 years. And I was like, oh, well, you keep this place pretty nice, because it was really, really bougie, Jerry. It was really like upscale.
Last time I was in Dancing Gnome was 2019, and so the place was nice, but I mean, it wasn't like.
No. This is a new place. This is
okay.
New... Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's nice. Big old board, and it's nice. It's nice. Believe me, especially for like it's in a workman, middle class area. It's not in a bougie area by any means. You know what I mean? It's in a walkable, nice area, but it's a nice ass brewery.
I mean, even where Cinderlands is. I mean, so we were at Aslan Sunday night, and in the Cinderlands warehouse, I remember walking down from the hotel we were staying in 2019 to the Cinderlands warehouse. None of that stuff was there. Like there was a whole bunch of buildings that were never there. And I'm just walking around like going, wow, this place is really built up in the past 5 years or so. And I'm just like, this is crazy. So yeah, I mean, I can imagine if a lot of stuff is built up around Dancing Gnome, for sure.
So I'm glad y'all are here. If any of y'all have to dip or want to dip, please let us know. If not, I'm just we're just gonna proceed like usual. I just want to know if y'all I want to know the best beers and breweries that y'all experienced. Let's get down to the beer. Or if y'all want to shout out anybody that's special to you that's not here, that you have a connection with, that you made with, that you I don't know, man. I love Baron Flow for a lot of reasons, but one of the things is I just blindly buy shit. So I don't know if y'all saw the hot sauce people when you first walk in on their
I was
right
right
side.
next to them.
Oh
You talking
yeah,
about, you talking about mambo sauce?
Oh,
Yeah, I was right
yeah,
next to them. My
and
booth
I
was
just bought
literally
4 of
right
them
next to
just blindly. Yeah, I
them.
didn't even taste it. I bought it. I got it home and I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet. I don't know if y'all had it. That was good.
Me and Sizzle were
Uh,
very persistent and bought before they even opened. I'll just say that.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amani's mild ale was one of the best things I tasted. Um, Libco's collab was fantastic. Anything else jump off of y'all? Jerry, and then Barry, and then Ren and Monty, or whoever else. What's up, Jerry? You got who? What kind of what beer jumped off of you this week? Anything?
So
You remember?
I really enjoyed the collab that Cinderlands did with Elmatic Ales out of Ohio, which was a black IPA with honey.
Oh yeah.
I really liked where that was going. That was a nice journey there. I had to look for my smoked beer, so shout out to Conzo Brewing, and I forget who they did that a collab with, but they did a rock beer, and I really enjoyed that. I was like, I had it. I didn't have that at the festival. I had it Sunday at the brunch because I know it was on draft there, and that was really good. Someone did the beer with the beets, which was, I liked the fact that they were using beets, so I was like, okay, I respect that. I really what's going on there. And of course, there were a lot of other beers that were like non-collabs, but they were really like I hadn't had a chance to try Moore's Kolsch, and I really liked where it was giving on their Kolsch. So definitely shout out to Moore's for that really nice Kolsch. That was the first beer I actually had going into the festival. I said that was a good start. I'm already happy because this is a fantastic start. Yeah, and so there were a lot of good experiences. Those were kind of the ones that immediately popped up to me because usually I'm kind of looking for those different unique beers. Black IPAs don't happen very often. I like what Smittix did with Shoe Brew as far as the Crimson Cold IPA. That was kind of cool. And then the smoke beer, of course. So yeah, and then just a lot of fun stuff in between with Smile and laughter. So that's kind of me.
Yeah, I want to jump in and kind of echo some of what Jerry said, but also throw a couple other pieces in there too. Definitely Smittix and Shoe Brews, Crimson. It's called like Crimson Cold IPA, was just wonderful, like just wonderful. And he always brings really good stuff and really creative stuff each year. Bringing up Conso again. I don't think it was their collaboration beer, but they had a peach cardamom ale. And it was like, having peach pie, in a right in an ale, and it was fantastic. There's and I have a little bias here because there's a guy who I've come across and gotten to know who's out of the Philadelphia area. His Instagram, his new brewery, starting to bring up a brewery in Jamaica called Summer in the Field. And he does a sorrel ale, and his collaborations with Carbon Copy out of Philadelphia, and it's a sorrel Hefeweizen. So it was really well done. So I definitely want to make sure I give him a shout out. But it was just, those are probably a few aside from the ones we've mentioned before, like that Libco was on point. Ren, I didn't even get to your table this year,
That's okay.
but I got to try some of the stuff you were handing out you were passing out at the bottle share. And I think I originally said it was like raspberry blueberry, but I think it was like raspberry grape.
Grape and blueberry was the one at the
Grape
fest, but
blueberry.
the bottle share, I had some hitters there, but keep going.
Yeah, but that was dope.
Thank you.
And I think I've said this to you before, Ren, but I'm not a mead drinker, but I will absolutely become one from your work. I think it's fantastic. I think it's just really well done for all that my lack of knowledge of mead. And I'm not saying it's just because it's really because it's coming from the heart.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would definitely find myself as an entry point to mead through you.
Thank you.
So no doubt it was also really good to have the samples of that, but I didn't even get to try a whole lot of stuff because I couldn't get away from the table, or if I did get away from the table, I was like walking around, you bump into somebody and then you're having a conversation for 25, 30 minutes. It's like, oh, I got to get back to my table. But, those were some of the ones that just really stood out to me. My wife really liked the Beats Ale. And I ended up buying a can because she enjoyed it. So anytime that she finds something that she likes because she's not a beer drinker, I'm like, all right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and get that. So those are some that kind of immediately had popped in my head on the way out. Hitchhiker had I think it was like a coconut cream ale of some sort. And that was good too. It was a little sweet on my end, but it was good.
I got a lot to say. I'll start with your English mild. I drank it Monday afternoon, evening-ish, and I meant to text you. That was phenomenal. I don't remember if you gave me the can or Shaggy did. I can't remember exactly. That was phenomenal. I am pissed off that I didn't get to try your in the playground. I came to the table. I didn't try a lot of people's stuff, but I'm pissed off I didn't get to try that. The brother you were mentioning in Scott, excuse me, let me backtrack. I think Jerry mentioned a Roush beer. Funny side story. Mac brought a Roush beer from somewhere, from Mac Brewing Co. He brought a Roush beer. We was drinking at the hotel lobby Sunday night, me, him, and Drew downstairs. And he decides to pour it warm. And when he pours it, he tastes it and he's like, oh, this ain't it. I said, yo, bro, you can't pour that warm like it's a lager. It should have been served cold, whatever. So we laughed about that. Brick from LaGrange, Georgia, Brick Terrain and Beer Hut. That is also my brother. We are very close. His braggots, and if you know braggots, that is a combination of beer and mead. His braggots are always phenomenal. I got some of his stuff from 2 years ago, and to see the growth and development of what he brought this year, not surprised whatsoever. Like, his stuff was ridiculous. Like, I aspire to be like that in a sense of the creative aspect. Like, he did his thing. He did the damn thing. Like, Brick does what he does, man. You mentioned the brother from Philly. Me and him met. He's a friend of Mac. And we talked for probably 45 minutes at 11th hour. His name is Dave as well. We became very close in that brief conversation. It was like we knew each other for years, exchanged numbers, everything. And I never had sorrel. And that brother's from Jamaica by way of London and also in Philly and in Brooklyn. He has a very interesting story, kind of like myself. But anyways, he was telling me about sorrel. I never had it before. And Mac was like, listen, bro, if you want sorrel recreated, Ren is the person to go to. He can make it in mead. I said, okay, I'll try it. So he's going to eventually get me some, and then I'll try it, and I'm pretty sure I can recreate it. I had the red IPA, which I think I said it was Crimson Cold IPA. That was phenomenal. I had Moors before. We was both setting up. So it was Mambo sauce to my left. The booth right next to them was Moors. And I had their Sessionel and their Kolsch. Blew my freaking mind. I was, oh my God, that was it for me. That's all I needed. Trying to think who else I had. Hannah's thing from Dope Cider. She had a peach cider, which was crazy, but then that 14% one that she had that had a bunch of stuff in it. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Blue. It was blue.
It's called.
And I'm gonna say this: my wife is not a drinker whatsoever. Like, she'll drink some stuff here and there. When I'm making meads, I'll let her sample things, and sometimes she gives me inspiration because I'm like, all right, it's good. She's like, no, you need to do this. So, anyways, she tasted that and she came back. She said, babe, you got to try this. You got to try this. So I drank it. I was like, oh my God. And it was crazy. And me and Hannah, we talked a lot on Thursday and on Friday. And I'm going to try to get involved to some things cider wise, because it's very white dominated and it's not a lot of us in there, but I believe there are a lot of us who want to create that and want to know the aspect and stuff behind it. So I'm going to see if I can go to CiderCon this year and see what's going on with it. But again, her stuff was phenomenal this year as always. Who else did I try? Oh my God, I can't remember. It's a lot of people that I didn't really drink too much at the festival. I was trying to be very professional and stay sober. Even I wanted to try everybody's stuff. Like, it was so many people's stuff I wanted to try. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I was like, nah, I gotta stay professional. I got away from the table probably twice, and that was it. And that was a good thing. That means I was serving pretty much all day. People were constantly coming, so I'm not mad. I did sneak away once to get to Drew's table, Libco, and again that Mentor's Magic was crazy. And then I snuck behind Brick's table while he was pouring and got some of his stuff. So everything I tasted, everything I tasted at the fest was just so good. I'm happy to see the amount of people who brought their intuition and creativity to the festival. Again, the experience, the drinks that were made, everything was just fun. It was dope. It was a good time. And I can't wait to see what next year brings, because in my opinion, and this is just me being honest, I noticed the people who were originally involved and they kind of phased themselves out, as far as the people who were there repetitively, and they kind of, we call old heads. The old heads that were in the festivals are no longer there for whatever reasons, right? The new age, which is Imani, myself, Jerry, I believe you're with some people there too, correct? Dave from that partner with Craft Bros, just the new people that are involved in the festival. We are now taking stage and showing what we have, and our connections, our creativity is a bit more authentic. So I love to see that energy and that new wave come through and show that this is what it is. We're going to show up and show out every year. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry I was long-winded.
No, I mean, if anything, Ren, as a podcaster, I love to see the story as things progress. My first Barrel and Flow at that time, called Fresh Fest, was 2019, and moving into what became Barrel and Flow and seeing the changes and seeing the not only the liquids that come through, but the different community members, native Pittsburgh people, as well as people from around the world that come to the festival, just makes it a special place to be. It's like you've mentioned, it's unlike anything else. And it's definitely something that I think people, when they come there, they realize this is unlike anything else there. So shout out to exactly all of that.
Oh, yeah. Greg, hold on, sorry. Imani, I got something for you. We'll talk later on. Yeah, we'll talk later on. I got something for you.
You're muted there, Imani. You're still
sorry,
muted.
Imani, we are muted.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to say I got something for you too, Ren.
Thank you.
But
yeah, thank you.
I also wanted to make mention, and I would feel terrible if I didn't. I don't know if they were a homebrewing group or not, but it was off in the homebrewing section. They were like the 30 and over group or something along those lines. But they had a beer that was inspired by Barry Gordy's Last Dragon. It was a stout, and I can't remember the name of it, but
Golden Glow.
Yeah, Golden Glow.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if they were a homebrewing group or not, but they were in that section and area. So it was. I definitely want to give a shout out to that. I forgot to put that on my list of beers that I tried and enjoyed during Barrel and Flow. So I just want to make sure that, and I don't know if that's the name of the group, but it was really good.
I think that was a part of Three Rivers Alliance serious homebrewers.
Yeah, Trash.
With
Yeah.
Trash. Yes, Trash. So Three Rivers Alliance serious homebrewers.
Was that the same booth that had the Smooth Operator Sangria?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good too. I don't know
The homegoing.
Yeah, there was a couple good beers in there. Right. Smooth Operator was good. Barry, what's going on? Do you remember what you liked? What were you drinking? Yeah, what's going on?
Ooh, look at the mead.
Look at that mead. Look at that mead.
I'm trying to show you the name. I'm sorry. Smooth Operator. I can't get my camera right on here. This is Smooth Operator too. I had this there at the bottle share, and I had like 2.5 gallons when everything kicked. So I brought that out at the end, and I was like, all right, I text and called the people that I wanted to taste it. Y'all had some at the bottle share, but that's called Smooth Operator. Strawberry banana mead, aged on bourbon oak staves, 13.5%. Crazy. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barry.
Oh no, look, I'm impressed with all of you guys because you're actually able to talk about what you tried and what you liked. This year, I was really, really strategic about everything that I tried because previous years, you know, my wife and I, we get there around 12. They let us out by 1, by 4 or 5 o'clock. I am done. So this year, we were done. We're just like, all right, that's enough. But one of my favorites was Proclamation, and it was mainly because of the story. So like every time I would see it, it was like my go-to. Like, this is my new summertime drink, and I'm drinking this because of the backstory even more. Day was able to give us some insight on why it was called Proclamation. It's apparently he hooked up with someone and said, look, this is what we're going to do, and this is why we're doing it. The Moors was the coach. That was great. And then I took some pictures of other stuff, but again, I was trying to be real strategic about everything, but I didn't get everything. But it was just, again, yeah, there it is. There it is. And what was that? You just mentioned it. Greg, I just sent you a picture of it. The Golden Glow Stout, because it had my man from, I'm drawing a blank. It's not the Karate Kid. What's thank you. Yeah. There you go. That's it. So yeah, it was a good time. And again, I'm impressed with all you guys who remember everything that you tried. That's so impressive because I had a lot of stuff where I was like, this is good, but I have no idea where I was at that point. So I couldn't tell you where to go back and find it. So but thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Yeah. Greg, what do you got, man? What do you remember for beers, or do you remember things? Sorry,
I started it off, so you're last.
Oh, you did.
Right?
Oh, I'm last. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I reiterate, this was actually at the actual festival. This was one of the best things I had was Beats by Brett. This was a collaboration between Allegheny City and Live Fresh cold pressed ale. So what's interesting is it looks like juice. It's like this kind of bright maroon, like because beets are in it. So it's ale blended with cold pressed beet, carrot, red apple, green apple, ginger, and turmeric juice. Like that is a lot to put in a beer, and it is smooth and delicious. It's low ABV. It's 5%, but it's like super refreshing. That I just remember being like, wow, really, really kind of wowed by the flavor of that. There was a black Kolsch that I think Greg, did you mention that black Kolsch was like so unique. And the thing is, like, I had two friends come from where I live that I said, you gotta go to this festival, and they did. There's a husband and wife, and they went there, and they're like, I just have never seen the amount of creativity and difference of beers that you get. Like when you go to most beer festivals, like, well, here's all my barrel aged stuff, and here's your, a couple other and lots of IPAs and shit like that. No, there's just a lot of different variations, a lot of different things where people bring, like, You go to a beer festival, you're going to see a meadery there. You're never going to see a meadery at a beer festival. That's the thing is this is why like, and having like, when I was trying to explain to my friends who came, I said, you're going to go and you're going to have the best food you've ever had at a beer festival. That's bar none. You're going to see people doing live art. You're going to see acts for 2 different stages doing their thing. And they were just like, I wish I would have done the VIP experience. Like they were just really like just floored. And it's funny, like they're both white like me, and they're like, this is great. Like they, again, just reiterating that whole family vibe. It's not just like, yes, there's a core family part of it, but like everybody's welcome. So they just really enjoyed it. What was the one mead you had, Ren, that was like, it almost had more like a cinnamon, maybe I'm misremembering it, but there was something that was a little bit more like, you had the blueberry one, and then you had another one that you had when I tried. And that one was like, wow, I didn't expect this out of a mead.
I think the summer breeze, which is dragon fruit mango, that might have been the one.
I think that's what it was. That was completely different than any mead I've ever had, and I just really, really enjoyed that because I was just like, I wish I could have bought a bottle of her because my wife would totally like consume the shit out of that because she's like, this is great.
Yeah, but, thank you. We'll talk off camera too. We'll message each other. We'll talk.
Yep. But I just want to say that there's a myriad of things you could have picked for great beers there. Like there's no shortage of whatever you wanted to try. Whatever your flavor is, whatever you like, there was something there for you. So,
agreed.
I think y'all can all agree on this too. I think that's something that Black folks do. We are known for like creating the craziest of stuff, and it works. That's just inherently in us, which is why I said there's things that I got from my great grandmother that I didn't know I had, and here I am almost 3 years later still doing it and passionate about it. But the flavor profiles and stuff that we as a people and community can create is unique to us. So we have meaderies here in Buffalo, New York, and I didn't tell people I was from Buffalo, but in Buffalo we have meaderies here. And again, I'm not professional yet, but nobody's going to do what I do. I can say that. So when I do open and have my own place, I'm going to stand alone. First, I'm Black. And number 2, my flavor profiles are not going to be anything that anybody else is going to make in a region, or I'll say probably in the world, besides a few Black meaderies that are around, but they might not have played with the flavor profiles yet. That's all I'll say. But that creativity is something that we have as a people. Thank you.
Amen. So, one of the things that one of the pink elephants in the room about Barrel and Flow, in my opinion, is that I can rarely find a person that feels that the main event on Saturday is better than the bottle share. I always hear that the bottle share is why I'm here. And yes, I love the festival. So the bottle share always has this, you almost have to just go just to experience it yourself. But one of the things I did want to talk about, and one of the things that emerges at this bottle share, y'all, is that like Doug and we didn't get to that early this year, but I don't like to get, look, I'm Black. I don't like to get any events any kind of early. I'm not going there early. I don't really care. I'm showing up fashionably late. That's when I get there. Y'all say 7:30 is when I start to think about when I want to be there and shit. So like I always roll in. But part of the reason why I want to roll into this bottle share is because I want to make sure I'm sitting in the right spot. Why does that matter? Because if you're at the cool kids table, you get cool kid things. Like like this. You'll probably won't see it. But like, so our friend Sam the Brewer, y'all know him. He's this energy. He's this great energy. He's a brewer at Goose Island Brewery in Chicago. So this motherfucker rolls up with like a whole bag full of like Goose Island, the OG barrel age. Everybody knows it. It's the OG. Say what you want about AB and Bev. They've kept this recipe almost, I think, on point. This motherfucker shows up with, what was it, y'all? 2014
proprietor's joint.
that was out of hand.
2015, 2016. So then what
Yeah.
happens is, like, I was just like, oh, really, motherfucker? So you don't want to be rude at a bottle share. So here we come with bottle share etiquette. You don't want to be like, motherfucker, when are you going to open that shit, you know? So you don't want to be like hovering shit, but you do want to be hovering. So it's a whole lot of thing. So so in between that, and then y'all next table over was Imani's table. And I knew that Imani was like pouring his shit. So then I just kept an eye out on Imani. I was keeping my other eye over here on Brewer Sam. And then next to Brewer Sam was Libco. So I was like, okay, this is cool. This is the table. So I went and put my fucking shit down, my thing down on the seat. And I was just like, all right, I'm here. So I can at least like keep an eye out on what the fuck's going on. I don't know. Libco was like, I don't know, drink whatever y'all want. So there wasn't any like, but Sam was holding on to that 2014 as I would have, because I ain't giving that, you know. So I dipped in and I got some. I don't know if y'all had that same experience. Did y'all get any of this craziness? And I don't know if y'all have any bottle share stories about how special that event is. I don't know who wants to jump off on that one, but this was something.
I'll start if y'all don't mind. And the reason I will is because Greg, you were trying to find out something between me and Sam specifically. We had a disagreement about something, and it was earlier in the year, but it started from last year at Barrel and Flow. I'll just say that. And he was like, "Wait a minute, what's going on? What's going on? What do I need to know? What do I need to know?" And the people that were in the know that there was a disagreement between us, like a little internal beef, they wanted it squashed. And then one of the brothers that was involved in it, I just met him this year. So that shows you the camaraderie and the family reunion aspect that we have, that we don't want any issues. So me and Sam, we talked, we got that squash immediately. I was able to get some of his stuff. He tried some of my stuff. It's all love. It's all good from there. But hover while trying not to hover. And I have the beauty of being able to not do that since I'm the only meadery. So most of the time people will come around looking for what I might have hidden in my bag, so I can blend in and hover a little bit so I can pull it off. That's my stories with it.
Any other bottle share stories? Anybody else? Amani, I see you got something.
I don't know if I have bottle share stories, but the bottle share is really an opportunity for, once again, not to keep harping on this homebrewer idea and homebrewer status, but we don't always get tables, so when we have an opportunity to be able to display what it is that we're doing beyond a collaboration, we want to be able to share that and let folks know that there are people like us who are involved and engaged in creating beer, creating flavorful beer that isn't just your corner store Corona, corner store Heineken. So we wanted to. We always try to bring. Well, this year we tried to bring a few of our creations as a team so that people could give a try to what we were doing. And our main thing is educate, empower, and amplify. So for us, it's when you go to the bottle share and you're trying out our beer and you're like, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy this. We're like, hey, you can do this too. And not only can you do this, we're going to help you learn how to go about doing this. So when we take our time to kind of share that, we know we do well with our beer and our beers are good. But we also want to encourage people that you can do this too. You can be a part of this if that's something that you want to do. So the bottle share for us is always just a way for us to be able to put something out on the table and not necessarily be in conflict with the brewery that we may be working with for the collaboration. And I think that it's a good, for all it's worth, it's a good market to be able to just share what we have, get some opinions, get some thoughts. Much like Ren had mentioned earlier, you get to hear a little bit about, I like this. If this could be done this way, I would like it even more. And that's all part of that experimenting and learning. But I don't know, Greg. It's kind of like they both do really well in serving a purpose. Like the bottle share is really good to be in a space where you can try out people's stuff, especially if you're a vendor. You can try out people's stuff right there without. And yes, it is the bottle share is the way to go. Pay the extra money, get yourself a bottle share ticket, and take advantage of that. So yes, the bottle share is the way to go. The festival is also the way to go. But I think that for those of us who do get the chance and opportunity to vend, this is a way for us to get to collaborate, to get to meet, to get to talk, to get feedback without the hustle and bustle of the festival itself. And really just, again, fellowship is very important to me. And being able to draw those connections is really important. And the bottle share is the great place to do that. So I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily feel one is better than the other, but I definitely think you should do both. If you can do both, do both. Go ahead, Barry.
Thank you. Let me jump in here, because as the non-brewer, the non-influencer, we love to imbibe. I'm gonna say our first year of the bottle share versus this year of the bottle share, two entirely different experiences, because we came in and I think the first year we missed it. And Greg's like, "Oh, you missed it. You gotta go. Oh, it's the best thing ever." And we're like, "Oh, okay, all right. We don't know." And then the second year we went in like novices. So we're walking in and like there's like cliques everywhere. So you're like, well, which clique do we kind of fit into? We don't know. Okay, all right. So scratching our head, and then we go find some random stuff over in the corner somewhere. You're like, I have no idea what I'm drinking, but okay. And then fast forward to now we know some people. And I remember walking in, and I was like, there's Greg. Wherever Greg is, we got to be close to Greg. And we just set up next to Greg. We bought some stuff ourselves because we found some unique things and was like, hey, try this and try that. I've had this for the last 5 years. You try this. My wife's like, why would you say that? I don't care. I'm want folks to try different things. It was some Spanish cider that we had. And it was just
that was super good.
And it was good. It was like really good. But it was fun because we found our clique. And the clique is like everybody. But when you first experience it, it's like there's little cliques everywhere. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to talk to. And then the more you go, the more you enjoy it, the more people you kind of vibe with, the more people you meet. And they're like, hey, you know what? You said, and I'm quoting my wife, and Doug and Greg know this. My wife has a thing about lavender beer. She just has a thing. We're not going. I don't know if you heard in the background. She's like, it's trash. It's trash. You know, but
wonderful conversation about that.
In the background, lavender should not be.
All right, Treese, we hear you.
Yeah, and like Doug, we heard you. But it's maybe lose my whole train of thought. But that became a community thing at some point. So it's like that the bottle share is a community. And once you're part of the community, it becomes this big thing. And the festival is great, but it's great to be part of the community. So thank you guys for making me part of that community, because it was a lot of fun.
Community is definitely the key for the festival and for the bottle share. Right? And I want to start it off by saying lavender is really great in beers. So I'll leave that there. And I also want to. It's fine. Greg can play the whole buzzer. You know what? And let me also do this because it's 58 beer. I'm drinking. This is representing Dallas, so I'm doing Velvet Hammer, which is an Imperial Red Ale by Peticolas. So that's the second beer right now. But yeah, Greg can play the buzzer all night because lavender still belongs in beers. Buzzers don't. So both the bottle share and the festival are really two different experiences and two different ways to create community, right? The very first bottle share, I mean, there was a bottle share that was official with Barrel and Flow, but the one that kind of sticks out in my mind was something that was an unofficial bottle share back in 2019. And this was at an Airbnb where certain people were staying, and we got a chance to connect with a few people in a deeper way and then we were sharing different beers there, and that was a very unique experience, right? I can understand when you first come into, you see all these different people in the room, and you're not exactly sure where to go. There's those nerves like, okay, I don't know sure where to go. Certain people are holding out different things in their bag. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with all that. But as you go and as you meet people and you connect with them, things will open up and you'll enjoy the different beers there. I will say that if you cannot make the bottle share for whatever reason, maybe schedule or something like that, you will also have a great time at the festival itself. In fact, you may be able to enjoy more of the festival um, if you don't go to the bottle share. So I'm going to put that out there. That may be an unpopular opinion, but it's just one of those things where you may be able to enjoy more of the different beers going on Saturday. Now, of course, like you saw on that picture, there may be some beers popping out at the bottle share that are not going to be at the festival. So when Sam shows up as the brewer for Goose Island, and he's literally giving you proprietor's edition versions of that stout, what some people definitely call Bud Stout, you go for it because that's not something you're going to get everywhere. So you want to go ahead and have some of that, meet Sam and connect with him. If anything, when I see Sam, the first thing I really want from him is not so much Bourbon County, but some of the honey ale, because that I really enjoy that beer. And
Listen,
that beer, I mean, the honey ale is what I'm like going, before you break that stout out, can I get some of that honey ale? Like, can you bring some of that here? More, please. So, definitely shout out to Sam for that. And it's a fun evening when you can go on Friday night and enjoy that bottle share. I mean, come on, you'll meet a lot of different people. So there may be bottle shares, little intimate bottle shares happening all over the place. So you'll just have fun and you'll connect with people. And then Saturday will be a whole new connection. You want to get your VIP tickets. Yes, I'm saying in your VIP tickets. Again, the most affordable VIP tickets you can get for a beer festival. And you can get in there, have some food, enjoy the different vendors, enjoy the live painting, enjoy the DJs and the bands. Because I haven't heard a whole lot of people mention that. But I mean, Honey, who Honey Rocks, I think that's her Instagram. I'll make sure to put it on here. She keeps it just hot. I mean, whenever the DJ she brings up there, they rock. It works. In fact, the first time I saw Honey was at a brewery that is no longer open in Pittsburgh, which makes me very sad. And that is a Necromancer. Definitely shout out to Necromancer. Thankfully, the brewers that were at that particular brewery are brewing at other places right now. And so, yeah, I mean, the bottle share is a fantastic time. The festival is a fantastic time. They're two different experiences, two different ways to build community. So what we're really saying is get your tickets. Plan for this next August 2025. Put it on the books. And we hope to see you there.
Jerry,
Y'all are all saying my sentiments, and I apologize. I keep saying I'm gonna be done, but it's tough to be done because this, again, it's something that changed my life personally, just based upon experiences and what I perceive as Black folks do when we drink. I'm used to us arguing and fighting, and I'm just speaking on what I grew up in the hood seeing, etc., and what I know we normally do. The bottle share does a lot. Like, that is, you have cliques, but everybody's a clique. Like, literally, if you just separate the aspect of seeing people in groups, everybody in the group will tell you to come into that circle if you come over. I promise you, you won't be shunned, you won't be pushed away. It's just that sort of feeling, is that sort of vibe. For me, and I know Amani's thinking the same thing now. We are fortunate enough to where we don't have to pay for the bottle share. We don't have to pay for the VIP tickets because we are participating in there. However, and I'm going to say a disclaimer, if I was not participating, I would pay for it because that experience is still a different thing. We don't pay for it, but we are involved in it because we are going to be participating in the fest. And that right there, it blows my mind every year. I now plan to get there every year, 2 days earlier than the festival, and leave 2 days after the festival, because I want to soak in the entire experience, being around the people that I've met through this event, experiencing the city of Pittsburgh, and seeing the breweries. Like Thursday when we got there, me and my wife, and again, my wife is not a beer drinker. We ended up going to New France Brewing Co., which did their collab with my bro Mac, and I forgot all about it. It was a sour ale with mango. Look, he's on point. Doug, on point as always. Thank you, brother. Always on point. Sour ale with mango and cherries, I believe. It was phenomenal, but I was able to experience some beers with New France because the brewer there, Nick, was just an awesome guy, and he let us see the fermenters and everything. And the experience with that was, so me and Mac are up on a rooftop, and the whole setup of this brewery was beautiful. So we're upstairs on a rooftop, 3rd floor, 4th floor, whatever, and we're up there talking. And it's just our first time we get a chance to talk outside of everybody when I got there. And Day was there too. He was there because he's going around supporting different people, because Thursdays are kind of like the start of when the things happen for the week for Barrel and Flow itself. So he was there. He left. We upstairs, we're talking. Funky Town comes through from Chicago. And once they come through, we like, all right, let's go back downstairs. We go back downstairs, and they open up the brewery again just for us to be able to drink, taste things that they have in the bright tanks. So I had a triple that was in a bright tank. I had a fest beer, which he's saying it's his Mirton, but to me it was a fest beer more than anything. Phenomenal. And the point that I'm making with all this is the experience that you're going to get at that festival, the camaraderie, etc., is going to be something that you just can't describe. Like, I can't put words into what I experience every time I go there. And again, I'm going to keep saying this, I'm going to keep stressing this. My wife is not a drinker, but she's behind me on what I want to do with this stuff and going to the festival. She enjoys all of it, all the shenanigans that comes with it, everything that's involved. And that tells you a lot about it. That lets you know that the intentionality, the purpose behind everything is all in good intentions. And it's definitely a dope feeling behind it. And you're going to see me there every year. So that's it. Again, I apologize for being long-winded.
It's a celebration.
It is. And I apologize again, because whenever Greg's ready to talk, I'm cutting him off. I apologize.
Greg's always ready to talk. No worries. No, but Jerry, I have some pictures from the bottle share that you talked about before. There was an official bottle share, but then there was one after that. The bottle share kind of ended early in the night. That first year that Jerry and I were there. So this is like that was the table. That was the table there. So that was great. Actually, hold on for the sound on this one. I don't know how this is gonna sound, but here's a little video.
Was that Shaggy back
there? It was a whole thing. So this guy actually made a Barrel and Flow, y'all.
Yes.
So
wow.
Yeah, April. What's up, y'all?
April.
Definitely a unique experience.
Speaking of April, at the bottle share, she had a banana pudding sour that just floored me. A banana pudding sour. I fucking love banana pudding, and that thing was just. She had one can of it. She only had one can left, and I was just happy I got to sample that because that was just awesome.
I missed that. Wow.
You missed the banana pudding, or you missed the bottle share?
Well, I wasn't able to come into the bottle share. I came in on Saturday, so I wasn't able to come in just due to a family funeral, actually. But it was just one of those situations where I hate that I missed that particular drink because, I mean, anyone doing something with banana pudding, there was another one that Vellum Fermentation did with a peach pie that was also very, very good. And so any of those type of flavors, you know, when people talk about sweet potato, when they talk about peach, and you know, there's certain memories of home and gatherings. I was like, oh, that would be fun to try.
Yeah. I might be bringing something like that next year. I'll say that, and I'll be quiet on it. And I think I was saying something that Greg might have mentioned earlier, bottle share related. Maybe it'll come to me later on. But again, it's an experience that you can't describe. Oh, the being on time aspect, Greg, you are on point with that 100%. I'm very organized. I'm a neat freak, so I like things to be in order. And when it comes to family functions, I had to realize, now being my age I am, I had to realize my family's going to do what they do in CP time, as we say, right? Because we always late with stuff. So after last year going to the bottle share and I was on time, right when it started, I said, "Oh hell no, I'm pulling up when we pull up." Like I'm pulling up when we pull up. The joint was packed. It was like almost 8 o'clock. And my wife's like, "Babe, we gotta go. We gotta go." I'm like, "No, I'm pulling up how we do. Like that's what we do." So I showed up in there. Everybody's all in a motion, and then you kind of make your entrance sort of thing. And if you got something, and I came down with a cooler, I didn't have the cooler that somebody else had. We keep talking
Sterling.
Yeah. But you make
Randy
your entrance. And once you make your entrance pretty much and you just kind of mingle with everybody, I'm telling you, that experience is dope. It brings tears to my eyes sometimes thinking about the love that we have for each other. And you're talking about all ethnicities, all cultures, all in that same area, including all things. What did you say again, Doug? Non-gender or whatever you were saying earlier. Like,
non-gender
we're
conforming,
everybody.
every gender, every
Yes.
sexual preference, all of it.
Yes,
Doesn't matter.
we're inclusive to everybody. And the best experience I had brewery hopping was at 11th Hour Brewing, which it looks like to me they are LGBTQ plus, if I'm saying it correct, focused, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got a good vibe, got a good experience out of that brewery. Mm-hmm. I went in there, they had very good beer. The service was great, but it seemed very welcoming from what I took in. So the festival does a lot, and it allows people a lot to be themselves without being judged. It doesn't matter again what background you come from. Just come there for yourself, and people will welcome you no matter what. So I recommend, if you've not went, go next year. Prepare for, a time to be had, and be there second week of August.
Isn't that great, Rain, when you can go someplace and just make sure that you are always welcome? No matter the beer's good, and no matter who you are, you're in there. You're welcome.
Yes.
Yep. And Barry's gonna leave us, y'all. So let him. Barry, want to say goodbye to you, but thanks for joining us. And
thanks for jumping on.
Look at that, 4th year, Barry. Look at you becoming a veteran over here.
Listen, it's a completely different vibe once you get a couple underneath you. Like I said, that first bottle share versus this last one, I was feeling really good. It's like Brent said it. I came in like, yeah, let's get it popping. It's like I got something what you got, and folks just feel like sharing. It was a great vibe. And again, I have to say this is a great community. I love this community. I'm looking forward to this community growing even more. I invite my friends every year. They don't show up, but I'm not worried about it because I'm keep coming back because I have family there that I see once a year, and it's a vibe every single time. So I want to say good night to everybody. Thank you very much for having me. And
cheers,
you guys,
brother. Barry, you were marked safe from being held up in the cattle bin this year.
Yeah. Look, we won't. That's the after hours joint, right? We talk about that after hours, right?
A little bit later.
All right, brother. Nice to see you. We'll be talking, of course.
Later.
Cheers, Barry.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you again.
Pleasure.
You as well, brother.
One last note on that initial bottle share, Jerry. One last note. This is where I was looking. So I didn't do any research for this, and I apologize, Doug, and for everybody. But I look back, Jerry, when you mentioned the old bottle share on my my old photos, and I realize now, looking at these pictures, that this is where I met two of the people that I love the most at this festival. You can't see his face here, but you could probably tell who this is.
There it is, my bro. That's my bro right there.
Yeah,
is the man.
That's my bro.
Yeah.
And also.
Yes.
Yes. That's the woman.
So I met them both there, And I don't know if I know Doug knows the story. I know Jerry knows the story. I don't know if everybody knows the story, but I love to tell it. Is that we are literally from the same neighborhood of West Philadelphia, born and raised in the playground. Yeah, but Dave is younger than me. But we made that connection there, and I was like, oh wow, like like Latifah knows where my house is, where I grew up, where I was brought home as a kid, all that. So like those two people are just, for me, like that's family. Like they're family. I jumped in. I walked over to their booth and I was like, Dave, you need to go. And he's like, what? I was like, dude, I pour for you. Go and do something. Because it was just him and Latifah there. And y'all know Latifah had her daughter. So then I was like, I'll just help. I don't even care. And he's like, nah, man, I got this. And I'm like, no. Bye, bitch. Go. So he left. And Jerry was there for a little bit, right, Jerry? And then I proceeded to, I got in trouble with Latifah because I started running my mouth and forgot to pour, and it was a whole thing, Doug. But it was fun. But yeah, this is where I met them, and I even took Latifah's picture. I took the card picture because I wanted to make sure, in case I lost the card, that I had her information. That was
very boomer-esque of you there, Greg, because that's like, I'm an old man and I would do that, so I would forget it. So
right. And that bottle share was wild, though, Doug. It was wild. So I knew I wasn't going to remember shit. So,
and by the way,
yeah. So
the baby,
I just had to share that.
Baby of Barrel and Flow.
Maverick
is the first baby of Barrel and Flow. I'll say that. Latifah's baby. First baby of Barrel and Flow.
Yeah.
So I'll say
baby.
that.
I love that baby. That baby liked me. Normally, babies look at me and we're like, dude, get the fuck out. That baby liked me.
So you can actually say that that is a STEM baby in terms of being a part of the science and the technology and engineering there. And this STEM baby here, part of Barrel and Flow, which and that's another thing I love too. If you want to bring your kids there, yes, it is a beer festival, but there's a lot of other non-beer there, and there's also a lot of other art going on there. There are a lot of other children that are there. And it's wild too, because you're a beer festival, so you think, oh, I don't know if I want to bring my kids. You can totally bring your kids there. It's not going to be any kind of mess going on, and we're all about just making sure people understand this is really STEM. It's emerging. It's all about STEM. So yeah, for sure.
Keep your kids in check, but you can't bring them.
Absolutely. Just like anything, definitely keep the kids in check. But so in the years I've been there, I've not had any, kids just kind of running around wild or something like that. And of course, anytime I see any kid, any kind of brewery, and if they're running, I'm always worried. I'm okay. Who your people? Because I'm scared. Like, where are your people at? Stop. What's going on? So for sure.
So Jerry and I had a moment. I'll let Jerry explain because I think I might get in trouble here. Jerry, I don't know if you want to tell us what happened after this moment here. That's me and Julia Hurst. And Jerry, what happened? You took that picture, Jerry, right?
That's cool that I took that picture. I'm trying to figure out what happened after that moment, though. Is this the moment that led to the lavender beer discussion, or that was late?
Poor man.
Remember, Julia just like she was about to leave, and you were like, "Dude, you're not gonna like introduce me to Julia Hurst? Like, what the fuck?"
Well, one, because I know Julia Hurst from the podcast, The Sense of Beer Style, and being someone who is big in the home brewery, especially in the home brewing segment, and as I was like, I have level 1 Cicerone, and I'm just kind of working on forever level 2, right? Especially since we don't always have the tasting part here in Texas, so I have to kind of work on that. And long story there, but I wanted to say I'd love to like meet her. If anything, what's the other gentleman who's with Revolution Brewing that I always miss? He is
Valecki.
Valecki. I always miss him, and yet someone had a picture with him. I'm going, he was here, and I didn't even know. Just to get with different people who are with these particular breweries, and you want to connect with. So that's one of the things I love. That's one of the reasons why I love the pictures for Barrel and Flow, because I love to see who was here that I didn't even get a chance to see. And there's just always this group of people that you may miss just because you're hanging out with friends. I mean, one, we talked about Sterling, and definitely shout out to Sterling and Douglas, and how from 2019 on. What's up? What happened?
No. I just said Sterling's a mess, but go on.
But no, I hanging out with them both since 2019. You know, we usually take a picture together, and so we have pictures from 2019 all the way up into this year. And there was one year I could have gotten a picture with them, but I wasn't able to come due to COVID. But those are the types of things that are special to me, and those are the memories I talk about. You know, so Two Locals. I didn't get a chance to. Did I get a chance to try that beer? I'm not sure if I got a chance to try that.
Probably at the conference on Friday.
Yeah.
That's when I had it. Conference on Friday. It's very delicious beer.
So, I mean, again, it's a place to meet new people and make some new connections. And I'm telling you, you come once, and if you keep coming again, I mean, I've met some people here who I've only met one time, like at that bottle share. You show pictures of that bottle share, and there are people there that I have not seen at another Barrel and Flow, but I keep up with them on Untapped, or I keep up with them on Instagram. And, you know, people shift out of things. Maybe they're not drinking as much, or they're moving more into spirits as opposed to, you know, less beer, whatever. But I keep up with them, and I still remember them. It means something to just have that touch point. Like, hey, we met at Barrel and Flow. Barrel and Flow is really something. And shout out to Dave Bracy.
Yes.
Ed Bailey
Shout out to Dave.
For Dave Bracy and Ed Bailey for everything that they have put together with this, because this is a unique festival. And also shout out to Michael Kaiser, who's with Good Beer Hunting, who was helping with some of the early advising for this particular festival. So yeah, definitely, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. So Julie and I have hung out a bunch of these things, actually, 3 or 4 times. So at this point, we consider each other friends. So then I see like a friend. I don't see like Julia hers, like the big BA person, the big, you know what I mean? Like, so I didn't really even think to say, hey, Jerry, this is my friend Julia. I just think that, like, it's my friend and everybody knows her. One of those things. And everybody doesn't know her, Greg. So
I don't know her, but you just put me on to her.
So Greg,
hey,
if
man,
this happens again,
she's good, but like,
if this happens again, I need you to let me know.
Yeah, we'll do this. I just, you know, it's just one of those things when like someone's your friend, you're almost like, yeah, that's my friend. And you almost, I wouldn't say take advantage of it. You're just like, yeah, it's cool. Like everybody's
what is she known
right?
for?
The main thing I knew her for was her pairing of beers. Like, not only was she a as far as solid home brewing, but she has a book about beer pairing.
Yep.
And
got it. Okay.
It's that was very interesting to me, because it, like, on the podcast Sense of Beer Style, she'll go into a few things, but the book goes into a lot more different things of what you do if you're going to do beer pairing. And I found that fascinating. So that's the reason why I was curious about meeting her and talking to her.
So one of the things, not to shift too many gears, but one of the things that I always regret not doing with Barrel and Flow is bringing like books or things of people that you will come across. Like every year, I forget to bring, like, you know, the barkeeper's table, you know, and want to get, you know, Garrett Oliver to sign your book. This year, Julie. But I was fortunate enough to get Alyssa from Rhythm Brewing to sign my beer can, you know. But it's always like, you don't know who you really get a chance to catch up to, you know, and these are people that you read about. These are people that you try their beer, or you read about them. You know that they're kind of in those spaces, and to see them at these festivals, you're always kind of like, I fanboy. So I'm just going to be upfront about it. I do fanboy, and if I see someone, I'm like, man, I want to get, you know, I want to get a chance to document that we met, you know. So It's
That's
awesome.
why I know Julie is that
Understood.
I fanboyed her. she's
Understood.
the she's the executive director of the American Homebrewers Association
Association,
currently.
yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
and then she's the former craft beer program director at the Brewers Association. So, and the publisher of craftbeer.com. She started all that, worked through all
Yeah.
that. And then, of course, when they started slashing all kinds of people, of course, they slashed the lady, but, whatever. Anyway.
Now I know
So,
where I know her
but they,
from.
yeah, then they rehired her. And then her craft beer book is called Beer Pairing.
Your pairings, yep.
And, yeah, Beer Pairing, the Essential Guide to Pairing Pros. So, yeah, she's just a wealth of knowledge. I am smarter for even being able to call her my friend. So good times.
I,
But
I
yeah, like
seen
I
her
just
in
assume,
something.
yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
know what I
I'm
mean? Like
sorry. Go
once
ahead.
no worries. But once you become a friend of someone, it's almost like, yeah, they're just my friend, and they almost all that kind of glitz and not glitz, but you know what I mean. They become human, if that makes sense. Kind of like Dr. J, who I missed this year
Mhm.
at Barrel and Flow. She's just another one who's amazing, down to earth. Everybody loves her, and everybody should. But yeah, I don't know, man. So I normally have critiques of Barrel and Flow. One of my main critiques, y'all, was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. The water situation was absolutely horrible, in my personal opinion. It was bad. Like there was like, but remember there used to be like, it was like those old school water fountains, but like
Yeah.
the water was warm and it was
Dude, you
magic.
sound like such a
So,
Philadelphian there where you're
um,
going water. Holy shit.
But I'm with you,
Water.
Greg.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Look at
Okay.
his face.
all right. What do you want me to say?
Sorry, you're just funny.
Listen, I guess you can't outgrow to Philly. I haven't lived there in 30
That's
years,
fair.
but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
sorry. You're right. You're right. The water situation
that
was
was-
bad 2 years ago.
No, that was last year. This year it was good. There was a healthy amount of water. Water. But do y'all have any critiques of Barren Flow? Anything that you feel could be better? I
As
think
a
a
vendor, I
lot of
do.
our audience here, a lot of our audience is like, everything's great.
As a vendor, I do. And next year, me and my three brothers, we're gonna come together to make sure we personally don't experience some of the things we had to deal with. So for me, I'll just say this. For me, I don't necessarily need ice with mead. Like I like my stuff room temperature. And I like people to taste things. So if it's cold, you lose that taste. Y'all know that in beer, and y'all
Sure.
craft beer connoisseurs. So I don't necessarily need ice, but it can enhance the experience per se for someone who wants wine chill per se. So normally we have issues with that, and that was our biggest issue, was like the ice thing. Other than that, everything else is normal things when you're trying to set up and stuff. I don't really have many critiques, but besides the ice aspect, also you mentioned somebody else, and this is not really a critique of the festival. This is like kind of internal thing we was talking about on the side. And I mentioned earlier, it's funny to watch people who were involved years ago as far as vendors, etc., and now they're too good or too high to come. But you have the new wave of people that are here, myself included, and I think we're going to be around for the long run. I know we will be around for the long run. Next year is going to be difficult to get in there. One of the reasons why, as you mentioned earlier, is Day and Ed are now Emmy winners for Ed and Day and the Berg, etc. So that's going to be tied to Barrel and Floor. Everybody's going to want to jump on the bandwagon now to say, "Oh, I've been here," or "I want to get involved." No. You should have got in before that. You shouldn't have left when you had that fame, because there are a lot of big breweries that are black owned or black created, and etc. And they dipped out once they got their star status, etc. Don't try to jump on the bandwagon next year or come in after you see that this is moving in a certain direction. So for me, there's no critique, but I don't want people trying to jump in now that things are going to go in a positive direction, specifically for notoriety and fame.
Yeah, get the ice there. I'm not sure. Like the latter half is a statement, and I feel that statement absolutely. When you talk about like just from a vendor side of it, like we're sending out a Pilsner, You know, we put down a Pilsner. So we want ice. We don't want it sitting, you know, it's a flavorful Pilsner, but we want to make sure that we're being able to serve it at the right kind of temperature. And that's what I was talking about earlier with, you get a little particular that you don't want to be serving off of warm lines because then everything is foamy. You know, you don't want to serve warm Pilsner to people because that's just not good stylistically. So definitely, like, if we could get the ice just a touch sooner, that would be helpful. But you know, I don't know, I really don't know if I could really complain too hard about anything that hasn't already been said. You know, I think I stand with Ren and everything that he said about, you know, from preparation all the way through to the notoriety, not the notoriety, that's not the way to put it. The press and the impressions that people are getting about this festival. You know, there are plenty of us who have been there and have been a part of this and want to continue to be a part of it, and keeping that idea central of there's Black breweries involved here who are a part of increasing and moving the needle when it comes to that 1%. You know, I think that it was quoted like we're 1% of the industry, but like 14% of the consumers, you know, so there's a market there. And I made mention of that to the brewery that we collaborated with, which is a white-owned brewery. But when I talked about this idea of there's an untapped market here, or let me not say untapped, there's an undertapped market here that, you know, there's so many ways that you can get involved and get engaged with this. And keeping that idea central to the festival, or at least keeping that idea as a part of the festival, and letting folks know that there are people in this space. There's untapped markets in this space, not just geographic, but demographic, that are there. You know, this festival caters to that. And if you're trying to make moves in that direction, this is something to get down with, and don't step away from it to then come back to it, because now that pathway has started to get open and it's comfortable for you to get into that space.
Yes, sir. You said everything I wanted to say. And secondly, growing up in Buffalo, and I think most of us that grow up in the hood, it doesn't matter what city, whether it's Philly, whether you're in Texas, whether you are in Delaware, the hood is the hood all across America. As Black people, we are our servicing, our education of beer is very minimal. We are served in advertised the lowest of the low. So when I go to family events, and I'm talking about my family in New Orleans, Mississippi, my family here in Buffalo, I stand out. My family looks at me, oh, here he come. We're going to come with that bougie shit. You know what I mean? But it's because of what we're served, what's advertised to us. Colt 45, OE 800, the cheap ice, Bud Ice, like bullshit that I don't drink, but I know that's what we're expected to drink because it's what's advertised in our neighborhoods. That's what my father drank. He drank Colt 45 or OE and St. Ides, bullshit like that. Now I have my father, when he comes to my house, he expects good beer. He expects good shit. My brother grew up drinking trash. When he comes to my house, he expects good shit. When they're around me, they expect good beer and good experiences. But as a people, we don't have that overall. And I think that's bad. And as you said, it's what 14% of us are consumers, but we are only in 1% of that market when it comes to actually owning and being involved. That's a statement. And that's also sad as well. That tells you who it's gendered to. It also tells you that it's intentional for us to be that way. But if you know the history of beer and or brewing in general, whether it's beer, mead, cider, whatever you want to say, who do you think was brewing first? You know what I mean? That's a rhetorical question, but it's a real question. Who do you think is brewing first? But somehow we got put into our minds, this is what you're supposed to be drinking, but everybody else is drinking this. And that bothers me and it hurts me a lot. So when I'm able to show up and show out with a meadery, which I'm sure we've been doing that since day one, but we're told Vikings, fairies, elves, etc. drank this. But I'm sure Africans were doing that beforehand, right? It bothers me. And to be able to come in and stand alone or do my thing and be proud to know that my great grandmother from Mississippi is speaking through me. She's speaking through my hands. She's giving me the artistic creation that I've had all my life visually, like I can draw anybody, anything. That does a lot for me. And when I come to this festival, I get that family reunion, but I also get that vibe that I'm supposed to be here. I'm not an outsider. If I go to a craft beer show here in Buffalo or anywhere else, excuse me, in the world, unless I go to Atlanta, I'm an outsider. I'm the rare one in the crowd. You know, oh shoot, he's here. He's, you know, what is he doing here? I don't have that feeling at Barrel and Flow. We are inclusive to everyone and everybody, but it is centered around us. Hence, they saying the beer with proclamation, you know, pay Black people, right? And that means for that's a lot of different reasons. But I'm glad I've been able to be a part of this festival, and I'm glad I've been able to make a statement to show that we are creative and this is what we always do. And it doesn't have to be alcohol involved. It's just us as a people. And to find good people, doesn't matter your background, is always a benefit, because some of my close friends come from different ethnicities. One of my best friends in the world is white, first generation Albanian. His parents are from Albania. He's born and raised in Brooklyn. So I don't discriminate, but when I go to that festival, I feel at home, and that's the place where I can be me 100%. I don't have to worry about no judgment, nothing. I can do what I want when I want, and that's a beautiful thing, man. So to understand that we are underserved and it's intentional is sad. And when I talk to my brothers like Sizzle and Mac and Drew, we're talking about how to step that up another level, but we already know it's boxed in. They got us boxed out intentionally. So our next conversation is, how do we break that wall down? And we know the way to do it, but we have to stick together. That goes, and this goes with a lot of things when it comes to Black people in general. You're talking about sports, that's NBA, NFL, MLB, etc. We had our own leagues. We sold out for money. Now we are in this space right here. And this is why I don't want that picture recreated. We're in this space. We were doing this. We were doing this for a long time. Let's keep that movement and energy going. And I'm going to try to keep it short because I can go for hours about this conversation. It's very, very deep to me. I'm passionate about it. And again, I'm going to keep saying it bothers me. We have the opportunity to do something. Let's do it with what's going on with him being Emmy nominated, etc. And even if he wasn't, we already know where the focus is. Let's do something next year. Let's show up and show out. And I expect everybody to be there and have a good time. But more importantly, be who you are. Doesn't matter what your background is. And I'm gonna stop there. Get off my soapbox.
We like your soapbox, Ren, for the record.
Okay, we talking here.
I know. I get in that moment, man, and I go there sometimes, and I can go on and on and on. But I'm speaking from the heart. I'm speaking from experience. This is just what we are, you know, as Black people in America. It happens everywhere. Everything you go in, somebody's doing something to intentionally box you out. You may have one or two people that want you to be involved, and they're genuine about it. But the rest is like, no, get out of here. We got this market. We don't want you over here. But then they'll buy it. They'll steal from us and sell it back and tell you this is what it is, from soul food to clothing to music, all that. Like, you know, we have to change that narrative, and it has to start somewhere. And I think Day has came up with something that will allow that. And I believe he realizes one day I'm going to talk to him, because I have his number personally. I think I'm going to talk to him and pick his brain and see, you know, where this came from and why it went that direction. But I believe I know why. I think he's a man after my own heart and after my own visions, and understands, you know, Buffalo and Pittsburgh is only 3 hours away, but the similarities are real. There's a lot of my people here in Buffalo that were affected. It's a Rust Belt city. Factories closed down, Black people losing their jobs. What comes in behind that in the 80s? Crack. I grew up in a crack era, so I understand all the dynamics behind that stuff. It's intentionality behind it. We have to change that. And again, I'm off my soapbox. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
So can I add in?
Please do. Please do.
Because this came up earlier. The artwork when it comes to all of these collaboration beers, these are, to my understanding, these are all Black artists
Yes.
that do the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look at it as this is an opportunity where people are getting paid to express their creativity, whether it be through the liquid they create, the artwork they create. The artist that did our artwork was just absurdly good and understood our vision, understood our thought behind the beer that we were putting together. And he just gets major shout outs from us. He did our collaboration artwork last year too. His name's Philip, but he's on Instagram as Art and Ale. But he is just fantastic. But there's layers of people getting paid and getting recognized, sometimes in a space where people don't love you. So it's really special. Like, just there's so many things about Barrel and Flow that are so special that even the things that might make you upset on the day of, it gets overshadowed by the overall experience. And so you might be upset about something that day, but at the end, when you sit back and you say, man, it just keeps getting better every year. It gets better every year.
I mean, I have to say one of the reasons why I came, so Greg and Doug had reached out to me about when I was coming into town. I was originally going to come in town Thursday, because usually I come in Thursday through Sunday. Well, I had a relative who had passed pancreatic cancer. And of course, usually by the time you find out it's pancreatic cancer, it's already stage 4, so you're already gone. So like within 2 weeks of finding out about that, he was gone. And I had the funeral was on Friday. And yet I knew in the back of my mind, knowing my uncle, he would say, you should be going to Pittsburgh. Like, okay, that was cool. I know you love me, and that was all the things, but you should be in Pittsburgh, because I know if my uncle were with me, he would be here. And so it was one of those things where, okay, I'm definitely going to be on the plane and going and get on to Pittsburgh. And so it was important to be here this year just for that extra reason. Like, okay, I at first was thinking, okay, I may not be able to go at all. But no, he said, no, go and enjoy and be a part of that, because life is for the living, and have fun. And so, yeah, I really appreciate everything that happens here, and the connections that I make here, the people that I meet here, the beers that I drink here, the artists that I see here, the music that I hear here, and just seeing people. So yeah, it's one of the reasons why I really love this festival.
Excellent. And Ren, you'll be leaving us, but I wanted to give you some time to say some final words. And Ren, what's going on? I know you got your YouTube channel. What's going on besides your meadery? What you up to, buddy?
I'll say this. So my YouTube channel, I'll be eventually shutting that down soon. Y'all the first to hear this. And it's not for any bad reason. It's because growth and development, life, it happens, right? Yep. I still keep my Black Bearded Nerd page. As you see all the stuff in the background, that's me. I'm a Batman fanatic. But that'll be shutting down soon. I want to say on a personal level, Jerry, it was definitely great to talk to you in person on Sunday. And Jerry got to hear the experience, what I talked about when it came to my great grandmother's name being involved. And I don't tell that story to too many people. It's a little bit more layered and complex, but he was there. And he's said something that only you say when you're talking to brothers. And when I say brothers, again, Doug, that doesn't exclude you. That means
please
you
don't
involved.
Apologize. Please don't apologize.
But that means you involved, right? You're talking to the north side. Yes, that means you involved. You're talking to brothers. You're talking to people that you can trust. And we had a real conversation. I brought up that story. So it was a pleasure to meet you, Greg and Doug. Thank you guys for always having me on. I appreciate everything that you've done and all the times you've reached out and I haven't been able to make it, but now I have to make this the thing. I'll come back on my own. We'll schedule in the calendar.
You can talk about Someone's asking about your thoughts on. I know it's probably too much
Oh,
for you
okay.
to go here.
I've been out of comics for a while, but I know exactly what they're referencing. I'm on the last episode, and I'm very funny on it. And I'll say that before I end. You see how much my battery is. Okay, so I still have a little bit of time. So, Barrel and Flow is beautiful. The experience is dope. It's something that everybody should go to at least once in your lifetime, specifically now. Now, the price might go up. It ain't going to be cheap next year because of what's going on, right? Number two, metery wise, eventually I will be legal to be able to do some things. The people that know how to connect with me, they can connect with me. We make things work. You know what that means. Cape Crusader aspect. I'm in between. Me being a Batman fan is not, it's not given the animated series. It's not given Batman, but it's there. I understand there might be, you know, not prequels, early Batman. They're trying to go somewhere, but they're dropping the ball right now. That's again, this is my personal thoughts. This is not fact. That's what it is. Overall, Barrel and Flow is something that I'm telling you, just have to be there to know. Like you gotta experience that. Doesn't matter your culture, it does not matter your background. You have to see something that, and I'm saying this as a black man, you have to see something that black people do. We are very, very creative. And for anybody who's not black, I'm not saying this to exclude you, for anybody in the audience. I'm saying this because that's who we are as a people. We have always been known to be resilient, resourceful. And when you come to this festival, you will experience that times 1,000. I've been to so many beer festivals and they're blah, they're lame. It's the same old shit. It's barrel aged stouts. It's this, it's that. That's it. You come here, you get the finest of the finest, the most unique flavor profiles, but only something that we can recreate. And you have to go there to experience that yourself. So, gentlemen, we will talk later about some different things. Like I said, I'll talk to all y'all behind the scenes about what's going on, as well as some other stuff that I can do for y'all. And I thank you guys for allowing me to be on here. I'm humbled for you giving me this time. And y'all will see me again soon. But Cape Crusader, like that. Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate y'all. I really do. And I can't wait to see y'all again next year at Barrel and Flow.
Absolutely.
All of y'all will talk behind the scenes. Definitely.
Sure.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great weekend. And
thanks, Ryan.
Cheers to y'all, and cheers to everybody in the audience that's watching. Thank you, guys.
Peace, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
Take care of
man.
yourself.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. And Jerry, I forget what I was gonna say. Anyway.
Well, I'm sure it was from the heart.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. We're gonna wrap up here soon. I don't know if y'all want to talk about the beers that y'all had tonight. You want to accent them? I don't know, Amani, if you wanna get the final word here. I don't know if you want to talk to us a little bit about your collab a little bit, go into deeper. Especially a little bit, everybody sees the collab, but nobody sees the hard work behind it. So I don't know if you have any stories or any of that, and then we'll get out of here. We can do some reviews on our beers, and then we're off to the weekend. So
yeah, I'll do my best to try to keep it short, but yeah, like I've shown the can a couple times already, but our collaboration is between Autumn Arch Beer Project, which again is a Newark, Delaware brewery. And we came together. We asked them if they were interested in getting involved in working with the highest rated beer festival in the country. If that's something they want to do, when it comes to you guys have done GABF and stuff like that, but let's do the GABF for people of color. Let's see what we can do here. And we wanted to philosophically, bring the state of Delaware to Pittsburgh, and really just show that there's more breweries in Delaware than Dogfish. And there's no knock against Dogfish, nothing like that. But we've got some great breweries in the area, and Autumn Arch is just one of them. So we sat down and we said to ourselves, think about how you were growing up as a kid. Chances are you probably had, you got your friends together, everybody put their foot in the circle, and you counted off, bubble gum in a dish, or, cut sausage out, whatever, you might have used. And that's the purpose of, putting your feet together. And we were on the playground when we would do that. And normally after you had your time of play with all your friends and stuff, you finished it off with a juice box, whatever that might be. It could be a quarter water Huggy, could be Capri Sun, could be High C, whatever.
Huggies, man.
Whatever it was, we wanted to put that idea into a beer. So we came together and crafted up an Imperial Pilsner with notes of strawberry and kiwi. And it really came out fantastic. I think when we were kind of thinking about the idea, we didn't want something that was going to be super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to try to really let the hops do the magic, as opposed to a whole like dump of puree. So there is some puree used, but it's more it's just about when you kind of place it. But we wanted to create something that was both refreshing and nostalgic. Those are the two ideas that for me often go into the type of beers that I create as a home brewer. And as our home brewing team, we talk a lot about nostalgia. But On the Playground is available. You do have to come here to get it. So I'm not sure where all of your listeners are coming from, but if you get in touch with me, I'm happy to see if we can work out some sort of an arrangement in order to get it over to you. And you all know how that goes. But it's a fantastic beer. I had it tonight, and it is on tap and available. I was drinking out of the wrong kind of glassware for it, but it still was delicious nonetheless. But the collaboration process was really just for us. We wanted to try to bring the state of Delaware to the festival. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we are the first Delaware brewery at Barrel and Flow. And we are as far as a club and organization, homebrewing club, we are the first, homebrewing club centered around people of color. So, we really wanted to try to expand our reach. And I think that next year for us, we want to try some other things. We want to, we have some thoughts about getting our own space and table as home brewers, and maybe being in that home brewers section to bring some of our things to the table and our knowledge and expertise. Not to put in a crazy plug, but if I have time to do it, there's going to be a festival coming up. If anyone is near the Philadelphia area, Mid-Atlantic area, we will be at a festival. It's called the Beer Diversity and Inclusion Festival, or BDIF. That's on September 8th. It'll be in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And, we have an opportunity to be able to present some of our beers there. So tomorrow, or I would say probably within the next couple hours, I'm going to be, conducting a brew day.
Yeah.
One of the beers we plan to bring is a strawberry hefe, strawberry banana hefe. Since there's banana notes in there, and we'll play around with some hops to do some strawberry. And then also we're going to attempt to recreate the beer that we had done with Attic Brewing in Philadelphia last year.
Yes, the Belgian.
What was that, Jerry?
What was it? The Belgian beer. It was the.
Yes.
Belgium was. I can't remember exactly what it was. I just remember that being one of my favorite collabs.
Yeah, that was good.
From
that was really
Attic.
Yeah, it's called Meeting at the Mash. It's a Belgian ale with lemon zest and basil. So I'm really excited about those opportunities. We're going to try to recreate that, and as well as this strawberry hefe. So I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm ready to go to bed because I got to get up and get these beers going. But I really appreciate being here. I just really appreciate both Doug, Greg, I really appreciate you both. Jerry, just getting to know you is just, it has been it's just been great, really, to meet a lot of people who are very passionate about beer, but also people who are just passionate about life in general and things that are going on in life. Greg has always been welcoming and has always been a point of contact and has always supported everything I've gotten involved in. Doug, again,
Amani was literally the first person I'm pretty sure I met at Bar and Flow outside of Afro Beer Chick. I think I met Afro Beer Chick, and then I met you and your family like almost immediately after, and we just hung out like that whole day, most of the day, and then we got a little mixed up, and then we still hung out even after that. So like we were cool. Like after that, I was like, man, this guy's cool. Again, you and the wife and I got along. It was just great. It was just
so I just really,
I don't know, man. I'm sorry,
y'all.
Monica.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying I really appreciate all of y'all. Doug, again, chatting up my wife for a little while is always good. and I'm going to continue to hang that over your head because I think it's just hilarious.
What's funny is people are going to think like, what's Doug doing? I'm like, you have never met me. I will talk to any fucking buddy. I will talk to anybody.
I keep doing it because I love to see you turn red.
Oh, I do. I get like super blush. Because what's going to be funny is tomorrow morning, my wife will be like, how'd the show go? And I'll be like, everybody made fun of me for talking to their wives. It'd be great. And she'll be like, and she'll just think that's super hilarious. So
but Doug, you are a genuine person, and that says a lot. You are a genuine person, and I think that's what draws that connection. So I'm just poking fun, but I mean it genuinely and truly out of love. Like you're a genuine dude. And Jerry, same situation. It's always nice to see you kind of in person because I tend to catch you on either your podcast or
here and there, but I mean, it's great meeting you. And again, just loved your, everything from the beers you've made and the hop education you've provided through being Black and Craft. Shout out to Angie Thomas and different things like that. So always appreciate those different things. I mean, you even got Greg bringing his mic up close to his mouth. He's like giving all the nice boo, 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 boo. I mean, I'm like, I've never seen a mic up in Greg's mic. Don't go any further.
That's what I'm going in. Mic comes up, I'm going in.
That's funny.
Anyway, man,
it's all love though, and I appreciate y'all having me on. Really appreciate you.
Thanks for joining us.
Get you in here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll get you in here once you have an update on what's going on, and maybe next year or something or whatever. Whenever you can come back, man, you're always welcome here. You already know.
For real.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Amani. Have a great time. Or good luck tomorrow with that brew day. But
yeah, good luck.
Here we go. All right, y'all. I'm out.
See ya.
Cheers. All right, y'all. Well, we can wrap this baby up here.
Yeah, what you got there, Jerry? Let's talk.
Jerry jumped the gun, but we'll still do this.
I mean, the gun was already spoken about, but whatever. It's all good. So the beer, we have the Stonewall Inn Lager, 5%. We had Velvet Hammer by Pedicolis, which is an Imperial Red Ale that's sitting at 9%. But
wow,
delicious beers here for the evening. Had a great time chatting. Always thankful to Greg and Doug for the opportunity to talk. And it looks like Greg came with a whole B&F blend here.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
They were all great. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They were all great. But, all Bar and Flow beers. There's a few exceptions, but all of them are great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's up, Doug?
So, Kim Folks was a
light
ale.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. Light ale, so like just super drinkable. So, second thing I'm going to go in order of what I liked. This was Only Us Know Them. This is from Mac Brewing and New France. This was a sour ale with mango and sweet dark cherry. Great can art.
Okay, why?
How did you snag one of those?
I don't
Doug
know.
is sneaky about his snagging.
Yes, I am. Mentor's Magic was my favorite thing I had tonight. And I am not an IPA person. This was a double IPA, a double dry hopped IPA, and this was fucking superb.
Fantastic.
So good. Great can art,
Who
too.
was the collab with? Who was the collab with?
This was Libco and Oliver Brewing. I don't know where Oliver Brewing is.
Fuck Libco.
Nice. Okay.
Libco, at it again.
Yep. Libco makes great shit, dude.
May the liquid prevail. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Doug, I know you're excited to talk about this.
Yeah. So Pints and Panels. We got M Souter from Pints and Panels coming on next week. Greg and I have been kind of working trying to get her on the show for a long time. She was actually at Barrel and Flow, and somehow I completely missed her there, and I feel super bad because I wanted to actually meet her in person. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to have her on, talk beer, her brand, just how the hell all that started. Like I'm super curious to hear her story about how Pints and Panels began, her artwork with it. Like, just it's going to be super fun. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Beer education through animation. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so we know that we're at the end of the show because Greg is humming. He is humming a lot. So at that point, oh no, yes, Daniel, please catch it. Please catch it. Catch it.
All right, y'all. I guess this is where we say goodbye, right?
Cheers.
Be well,
Jerry. Thanks for co-hosting with us, by the way.
I mean, be well, do good work, and keep in touch, right? So yeah, thank you all so much for the opportunity.
Yep.
We'll leave with Doug's favorite.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.
No, we need the gravy remix. We need the gravy. I mean, we're talking about the biscuit. The goodness of the biscuit is with the gravy. So, I mean, that's a Southern thing. I understand, but I mean, we need the gravy remix. So,
all right. So before we go, let's make one thing clear. When I think of the South, I don't think of Texas. I think Texas in the Southwest.
Wait, so you said when you think of a stout, you don't think of Texas.
No, South is Southeast.
The South. You don't think of South as Texas.
No, I think of that as Southwest, like New Mexico.
I mean, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. I mean, I still want gravy,
but
yes, it's true.
But Texas is our most southern state outside of Hawaii.
That's fair. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about, Doug?
I mean, a lot of people don't think about Texas as the South. I mean, you're not wrong. A lot of people think of Texas as a sort of a Southwest type thing.
So now,
well, let's see how they declare themselves when they secede from the Union next year.
Oh, don't
sorry.
Reason.
Sorry, Jerry.
Goodness.
I hear that every year in every election, and I just laugh because if Texas secedes from the Union, they're completely fucked. They're not doing well when they're part of the Union. How can they do when they're by themselves?
So Jerry, if y'all are able to throw out Ted Cruz, I will promise to come to Texas within a year.
Wait. You said if we throw out Ted Cruz, what you gonna do?
I will promise to come to Texas within the next calendar year if y'all throw out Ted Cruz.
So all we gotta do is just vote out Ted Cruz, and you'll come to Texas.
Ted Cruz has to be out. Ted Cruz has
you
to be
say
out.
it's so easy. You're like, all we have to do is throw out Ted Cruz.
I'm just asking. I just want to make sure I understand, so that way,
that's it.
I put in the work, you're not gonna say, "Well, something had happened, and the way my left toe didn't work with my right foot." I'm like, "Okay, you said you were coming. What's going on?"
So my thing is, I've said I will not go to Texas as long as it's completely fucking super Republican and like people might. But if you get rid of Ted Cruz, I'm with Greg. Hey, that's a start. Let's go.
So
If
I
you get
guess,
rid of Ted Cruz, I'm coming down.
I mean,
Facts.
it's as with any state, right? Because you can get into a whole lot of madness about any state in the union, right? I mean, you just
Facts.
go around the wrong corner, you can get into a whole lot of stuff that you didn't expect. I mean, even in Barrel of Flow, we love talking about Pittsburgh, but let's not act as if there's some places in Pennsylvania that if you turn that corner, you're not getting something just as red as Alabama. I mean, so
Right.
that's the whole thing there. So I would say that there are pockets of places where you can come and you can enjoy and be yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, in Texas, being born and raised here, I will definitely say that there are people in both sides of my family that fought for freedoms for me to be here and to stand up and say, okay, that's not going to work. And so those things I keep in mind as someone who lives here. Now, some people may choose to move. I'm not going to denigrate them or anything like that because if they choose to move. Trust me, I'd like to move because sometimes the heat is a bit too much. Again, that's one of the reasons why. That's another reason for Barrel and Flow. For me, I mentioned before, the weather is another thing where I can get into some cooler weather here in the summer. It's just too damn hot sometimes here in Texas. But that's me. But yeah, Ted Cruz and
get him out of there.
Who's the governor? Who some people say, and I know people are going to take this like, oh, you're being funny. Some people say
Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So
he's hot to go.
It's just one of those things, and we'll see what happens.
I know it's ableism, but
I mean, it's true, but it's one of those things where we'll have to see what's going on. But it wasn't always that way. I mean, let's. This is also a governor who sued when that particular tree or something fell on him, and got that money. Because that tree fell on him, and yet he was also fighting for other people not to sue other folks. I mean, it's another whole thing. It's messed up.
Yeah.
So yeah. But you should all come to Texas. I will welcome you. I'll take you around to Dallas Fort Worth breweries. And if you are coming to Texas, please come and let me know. And I'll be happy to do that.
Mm-hmm. I'll be more inclined if y'all kick out Ted Cruz, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck him.
I'm inclined because of you, Jerry, though. And G. And
yeah,
Jeff.
we got Jerry, we got Jeff. Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, we're here. We'll give you a great time. Smith's is here, and especially once his brewery's open, you gotta come down. You gotta make it a weekend, even if it's just like, okay, I'm gonna be come down for a literally weekend. Like literally, I'm coming down Friday, a touch of Saturday. All right, too much Texas, I gotta go. So something, but we gotta celebrate that.
All right. And we're going to celebrate one more show in the can here, y'all. I mean, in the bucket or I don't know.
In the can.
Really, Doug?
In the can, as you say.
Really, Doug? Is that what you said?
Hey, you said it, not me. But the fuck are you giving?
Yeah, but I tried to retract, and then you make me double down.
Nope. You don't get that opportunity. I love you, man. I do. Bye.
Y'all weirdos.
Oh,